This episode, we're going to talk about some controversial topics, so don't be upset. It's just a couple of guys shooting the shit.
Or be upset, but listen anyway.
Yeah. This is our most controversial episode to date. You can put that at the beginning.
I'm going to take a fucking nice seat here on the red couch.
Yeah. It's a power hour. There's gonna be a lot of singing.
harmony?
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of singing.
No, because we're in sync. There's no 200 millisecond internet delay.
It really fucks it up. Okay, what's next on the agenda? Now that Dan forgot about this, those vaccines we all took were bullshit, right?
100%.
It changed me completely as a person.
Hey, listen, I'll tell you what. I had hair before I took that vaccine.
It's the vaccine's fault. We lost the hair.
That's what it is.
Did you see the back hair I grew?
Wings.
You grow bat wings.
That is
wings.
straight up. I never had that.
I was thinking, why don't you just get that taken off and put on your head? Like, me or you couldn't do that because we have hair all over, but you just have those two little patches.
Yeah, you get
which
those
fit
removed
perfectly. Just
I wonder if it's a different style of hair, though.
doesn't matter. Just keep it short.
It's just like lighter, just who cares? Put it in there.
I'm honestly though, I think my hair is coming back.
You are
you're a
fucking delusional.
liar.
It makes me sick to my stomach.
It's looking good.
What about that fucking chemo cough you got going on?
I seen your red scalp in the pool yesterday.
Now put it down. Put it down. Put your head down. That is get rid of that.
But
look at that pile you just fucking that fell.
Another bunch.
Look at that pile that just fucking fell on the table. Jesus.
Right
Tumbleweeds is blowing by. You're the only guy I know who thinks that bald's in reverse.
No, I think I had stress-induced alopecia.
Oh, you have male pattern baldness.
You know what, though? I've seen old guys with like thinner hair than me that make it work. And I'm like, maybe I can make it work.
No, you can't, though.
No?
You can try
right now. It doesn't look good.
What if we wait till it gets longer?
Comb it over.
Buddy, you're going to be looking like fucking Kingpin.
Hey, what are you on the Rogaine?
No.
Try the Rogaine.
It's too late for that.
Too cheap.
Some people, some works for some people.
Buddy, this is from, I wonder if I could sue Pert Plus 2-in-1 because
it's too much. What's the chemicals in those that they're not good for your scalp?
I don't know, but I use that exclusively for.
Did you have dandruff?
Never.
So it did its job.
Never. No, that's
Prevented
Head and Shoulders. Pert Plus doesn't do anything for you.
Pert Plus is that's the green one. Yeah, the green ball. I remember that.
Yeah, that's what I use.
It's Head and Shoulders.
Hey, I used Pert Plus growing up too.
Yeah, we're bald.
Holy fucking
right.
Class action lawsuit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it was all Pert Plus.
It's probably the same company that owns Rogaine.
Were you born in the years of 1980 to fucking? Did you use Pert Plus?
Yeah, this bottle specifically.
Yeah.
You may be entitled to financial compensation.
I used to use so much fucking shampoo too when I was a kid.
Well, yeah, because you style your hair with it and shit.
Fucking big old glob on there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now I got none. Now I need none.
None.
So for those that don't know, this is the first Power Hour in the studio in
years.
4 years.
Oh,
4 years? Has it been that long because of COVID?
Yeah.
It's not that we've recorded together.
I don't think so.
Yeah, because we recorded in Austin.
Yeah. Well, and we did
Austin.
Yeah. But here in studio.
It hasn't been 4 years since the last pod week.
No.
There's no way. My kid just turned 4.
Yeah, there's no way.
We had a pod week pre-COVID.
Yeah.
That was the last one.
No. My kid was alive, I remember, because
but I feel like
you guys gave me a lecture about
so 3.5 years.
Yeah, okay. Well, maybe. Yeah. It's hard with those COVID years because everything's a fucking blur.
Yeah, you just lost those 3.
Yeah. You know what I think we should do? Class action lawsuit, sue the government for the lost time.
You can't get time back.
Yeah, you can't.
Right?
What's a year worth to you?
Maybe they can patch up millions.
Well, I think we could all, once we see them, we all get like $18 or something.
Yeah, that's fair.
How big of the suit is.
I'll take $18.
I was on a class action lawsuit for something. What the fuck was it? Oh, some sort of stock I bought.
Oh, they frauded the stock or something?
Yeah, and there was a class action lawsuit and I made like $14.
Nice.
Like after fucking everyone.
How much did you lose?
Oh man, probably
Thousands.
same.
Oh, okay. That's
I was
not a
like,
big deal,
it was like fucking one of those like really low ones. But I remember getting a letter about it, and they're like, "Join this," and then
I want to join a class action suit for all my weed stocks. Are down 99%.
yeah, it's
What?
fucking bullshit.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
I'd say
Why?
about 99.
They got fucking murdered.
Well, in Canada, I can't remember the exact details, but pretty much when you are a manufacturer, you have to pay X amount of tax or $1 per gram, whichever is more. And now that weed's so cheap, it's $1 per gram. So it's about 25 or 30% tax on every gram they sell.
Holy
so there's
shit.
zero profit for any of these companies. So they bled all their cash. Now they're down 99%.
Wow.
There's a couple times where some merged, like Tilray merged with a couple other ones that I had, and it went up. I was up like 20%. I was like, oh, sweet. I'm going to hold it. I'm not selling.
Is
And
it
then-
cheaper to get it illegally then?
Yeah.
Yeah, but not by much anymore. Like it's really cheap in the store, but it's still cheaper. There's this place down West Side Road we call it the Green Mile, and it's just it's on native land, and there's just like 100 shops.
So boss, I just want to help.
100 shops in a row, and you can get like AAA weed now an ounce for like $60.
What?
That's pretty good.
You just gotta drive an hour, but
I haven't smoked in so long, but we've got like an indigenous one now, so you can get the big packs of the edibles. And I'm like, oh yeah,
actual 10 milligrams per gummy instead of 10
How are
per
you going
pack.
to do that? Like, here's a question for you. Like, I couldn't do that as a parent. I couldn't get fucking warped.
I've been getting warped every day.
Really? Holy, what happens when they're like, hey, you got to be present and do things?
If you're always warped, then you're always warped.
That's just, yeah, they don't expect anything.
And then you're
that's
used
a
to
good point.
performing at that level.
it's just one of those. That's my problem is I don't know when. So I love the drinks. Then the drinks don't
I would
last
do a
as long.
drink. Hey, listen, if we play D&D, I'll do a drink.
Drinks are awesome.
Yeah, I'll do a
Dude, the
drink.
drinks are so fun.
Drink will annihilate you. I
They
think.
set in.
Me?
They set
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
They set in within 20 minutes, and I find I'm like, they hit hard. I'm peak high. You're at the highest you're going to be in 20 minutes, and then it just slowly peters off in like 2 hours.
I love the drinks,
Much rather do that than get fucking blackout
Yeah.
like we did last time.
Oh, yeah.
I'll do that for sure.
Oh, dude, I was.
Okay, well, if we do that, I'll get on that. And I haven't been fucking since I had that last experience
We
with
know
the
you haven't
dropper.
been fucking. You had to just. You
just had a baby.
Yeah. Oh, we haven't. Yeah. I've fucked twice, and that's it.
Okay. Another conspiracy we should definitely bring up is that what's going on at the center of Zell's pool. And why
Oh, Overton Bridge. It's basically the fucking Overton Bridge. What do you mean?
it's got the call of the void
Yeah.
in the middle of the pool.
You literally, what are they, sirens? There's a
Yeah.
siren song coming from your pool to toddlers
trying
to
to
commit suicide.
Drown toddlers.
But just about every single toddler at your house yesterday
Tried to commit suicide.
Just jumped in the pool without life preservers.
No,
at
but
some
just
point.
walked in.
Yeah, like in some sort of trance.
I watched my own kid.
That might just be toddlers in general.
Dude, Niall,
know, my
Niall
kid-
was scared of the water, and then all of a sudden he's just like,
It's true.
in the water.
My kid is mini me. Like, he overthinks everything. You can see it. And like, he looks at the water and he's like, do I want to get wet? I can't swim. I don't
Yeah,
know. It's
I
kind of
gotta-
cold. I'm not into this. Like, I could see the wheels turning. And then not half an hour later, after trying to like bag him and bribe him to get in the pool, I watched him fucking in a daze walk down the stairs. And I looked at Braden and I'm like, like, well, and I'm like getting ready and like, do I need to intervene? And then he literally just walked in
You even
and went
said
under.
to him, you said, buddy, you're not wearing your water wings. And he just like didn't even listen, just strolled perfectly off the stairs, just under the water.
Send
I had to
him
jump-
back 2 more years in his
Oh,
water.
yeah. I had to
water
jump in
quest.
with my clothes on.
And then before that, I mean, Byron's kid was wearing a life jacket and was fucking leaping into the pool. And then he takes off his life jacket and then just goes running and just fucking
Literally,
enters in the pool.
I'm pretty sure Byron like unbuckled the life jacket and he just walked straight into the fucking
He
pool.
unbuckled the life jacket. He turned around and put it down, and then Jasper just ran into the pool.
Yeah, he's like, buddy, your jacket's off. Drowned.
Yeah.
And then every single time I looked over at Nova, she's just on the edge looking in. I was like, oh my God.
The call.
I was like, what is going on in that pool?
I don't know, man.
That's so funny.
It has to be because they get used to the life jacket or the floaties, and then they just think that they think they wear them, and they just jump in.
I know you want to harvest our kids' adrenochrome.
Yeah.
All right, that's what you want to do. You
that's
fucking
what it's
drown them
really
and you take their adrenochrome.
You can't drown them; it ruins it.
My kid can't sit. My kid doesn't sink. He just floats.
No, in order to squeeze out the adrenochrome, you need severe trauma. Severe.
Oh yeah,
It's awful.
Yeah, that's the Clinton's MO.
That's the conspiracy. You get these kids like really scared and then extract their blood and take the adrenochrome.
Oh, you play that fucking Caillou song before you kill them.
What an easy job, though.
Killing toddlers?
No,
Making them scared.
what an easy job.
Yeah, or until it comes time to scare fucking Byron's kid. Good luck.
Oh yeah, there's no way that something's wrong with that kid.
That kid is not scared of anything.
No, he's a great dude. He is wild.
He's just over 2 and he doesn't give a fuck.
2 seconds after drowning, I saw him. He dragged a chair over to the fucking lookout into the ravine, which is like a 100-foot drop, and he's just hanging.
He's
over
dangling
the rail.
on the rail on his waistline.
Looking
Like,
at
what?
It's
Just
terrifying.
reckless abandonment for nothing. Smashed his lip, looked like little Hitler.
That kid learned to walk early, like 8 months,
Yeah.
Problem.
and he was just smashing his face. He had black eye for 6 months,
Well, I can see he's got bruises all over him.
all over him.
Dude, he left.
They
He
said
left the pool party. He looked like he was in a train accident.
they
He's like
sent him
Rocky.
home from daycare weekly with a list of injuries he just sustained during the day.
Oh, that's crazy.
Knee abrasions, cut over his
Kids
left
can be
eye.
tough.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Toughen him up.
Byron like dusts him off. And he's like cries for like a millisecond. He's like, "You good?" He's like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it.
he's part Australian though. They feel a little less pain, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a fair analysis.
All
I think.
the generations of over drinking have dulled
Yeah.
pain
receptors. He also like in the pool. He like swam up to me, and then he's like right beside my turn. And I'm like, "Hey, buddy," and he's like, I was like, "Okay,
Okay, right on.
I don't know what you said." And then he had the knife.
Yeah, he should get in a knife fight with my kids.
That's not a knife.
Niall's like blocking the knife stab
With his Optimus Prime. Yeah, seriously.
And no one stopped him. We were all just like, "That's not a knife."
Just making jokes.
Oh, I wanted to see how my kid would react.
He was blocking him pretty good.
Yeah, he did pretty good.
Poor
Yeah,
Optimus was just
Yeah,
Strong sense of survival that kid
Yeah.
has.
Fuck, that was too funny.
That was really funny, actually.
We gotta do shit like that more with we should plan a yearly trip or something.
Oh, I think that's when we got kids this close in age. I think we
Yeah.
just have to.
WrestleMania, man, 2028.
Well, we're all gonna have boys.
Yeah.
Wives would love that.
Well, they're not coming.
Boys trip.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. has
Fuck
to
yeah.
be.
They're not coming to WrestleMania. Fucking-
I would go to WrestleMania.
Dude,
I know nothing about wrestling anymore, but I would still go. It'd be fun.
Literally, wrestling live is
way better.
The best
Oh,
spectacle
my God.
of sports entertainment on the like. There's nothing more fun to watch. You
It's
don't
true.
fucking care who wins or loses. I'm not sad either way. Like every
Just
time I go see,
electrifying.
buddy, I can't be let down. I love it.
I was course every single night. Like NXT,
we lost our
Mania,
voices.
Raw, like every single. I was like, just losing it.
Like Braden's always kind of stayed into wrestling. I was really big into it in the fucking late 90s, early 2000s. It was my fucking shit.
Yeah.
I grew
Yeah, I
up
loved
on
it
it with
back
my
then.
grandpa or my shiddo. And then when I found out, when we broached the idea of going to Mania, I like got into it for like a good 6 months before and learned it. And it was like a full-time job. It was hard.
to get back into it.
It's
To learn
Days
all
of
the
Our
characters,
Lives. It's like Days of Our Lives, right? There's long form stories going on,
Yeah.
right? There's affairs and heartbreak.
It was like, I don't think I could do that again. I don't.
It's a sports soap opera. That's what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
I read the dirt sheets all the time.
Yeah.
I'll never stop, so I know the storylines that are going on. Just because I love it. It's great, but I can't watch it. There's no fucking way.
Oh, buddy, there's some good. Like it ebbs and flows.
Is WWE still the go-to, or is what's up
right now? Yeah,
What AEW
Well,
is
the
coming up?
bloodline-
AEW's good. AEW's got really good matches. I'd say their storylines are a little lackluster.
I turned
all
it
those
on
storylines.
just randomly AEW, and it was Sting versus like Shawn Michaels. I was like, what?
No, Chris
No.
Jericho.
Or Chris Jericho.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
you probably wouldn't recognize Shawn Michaels if you saw him.
That
To be
was
honest
the
with you.
Is he old?
Oh, yeah, he looks.
dude, he's bald. He's got
He's got a googly eye.
he got hit so hard, I guess, that he had a concussion that like, what was it when it's your fucking optical nerve
Like
detached? And it caused his eye to wander, but only just a little bit. But over time, that muscle has relaxed, and his one eye looks directly into his so he's completely fucking googly eyed.
So when this motherfucker comes out to sexy boy, you're like, oh, I don't know.
I'm just a sexy boy. He's looking sideways.
Which is hard for me because I fucking love Shawn Michaels. Is
Yeah.
a fucking man.
Shawn Michaels now looks like Cody Evans cross-eyed.
Yeah, that's a really good call. Yeah, with no hair.
With no hair and cross-eyed.
Yeah.
Identical.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Okay, I wouldn't recognize him.
I would say WWE is funner.
Still king.
Yeah, the storylines they got going on right now, they got fucking so many good
The
guys.
Bloodline storylines are phenomenal. The stuff they did with Sami Zayn, amazing.
This Bloodline storyline, everyone that's touched that and been a part of that storyline is Hall of Fame.
Yeah, unreal.
It's phenomenal.
It's one of the best storylines, I think, that I've been.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
It's just it's the first time in a really long time that they've just told a long form story, and this story has been going on for like 2 years, and it hasn't been repetitive.
That was my biggest beef.
Yeah,
was the fact that like I'd watch and be like, oh, these guys are fighting again, and it's the same
for
fucking
no really
thing.
reason other than like, I hate you this week. I want the title. Yeah, you got the title. Yeah, oh, I'm gonna take it. Yeah, and it's just been a long form of like friendship and
the best thing they could have done was
and
get
blood of the
Vince.
covenant over is thicker than water, the womb,
Vampires.
Yeah, right. And then
the Brood.
And then like
they be fanging and banging.
Oh
fanging and banging.
Yeah, buddy, this has been fanging and banging. It's been good. It's been fun to watch. It's hard now with a kid and get all my wrestling in. I watch it in the morning sometimes.
Well, if you weren't playing Diablo 14 hours a day, then you probably watch.
I wish I could play that long. I get some good hour sessions in the morning every morning.
I see you guys. Every time I look at Discord, you guys are up at the top.
You know what's funny though? I always forget. I'm probably logged in there right now because I forget to log out. That's what happens. So, it's not in there.
Yeah, mornings when I play.
Yeah. Not as early as me, though. I'm on at 4 a.m. Someone's got to keep hell at bay.
Someone's got to keep the demons back. Yeah. No, my mornings start at 8 because that's when Nova goes to daycare. That's when I can do stuff.
Yeah, that's when you get a little bit of freedom.
I get 8 to 9.
What's you guys been following the RFK stuff at all?
Yeah, I mean,
just on Rogan. That's the only thing.
From what I could
fucking
understand,
I can't understand anything he was saying.
I got against vaccines. I just want them to be safe.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
I didn't really know anything about RFK. I didn't know anything about him as a lawyer. I get like the Hudson River stuff. I had no idea, and I didn't know anything.
I think he's a really cool guy. Yeah. I actually like a lot of the stuff he has to say. But I have such a big beef when this guy's preaching about fucking keeping vaccines away from people, injecting them with fucking chemicals, and no. When that guy is fucking injecting 250 milligrams of fucking TRT a week,
that guy
for sure, he is fucking yoked.
Is he yoked?
Oh,
he's on gear for sure.
He looks
right.
He looks like he could cut a promo and him and Vince could go at it.
Listen, RFK, some pharmaceuticals are okay, I guess. Right? Like, let's be honest.
I mean, the vaccine stuff. I mean, most vaccines seem pretty safe. I mean, now that we've had them for years and years and years.
Well, the interesting thing that I'm finding,
I got to say, the one we just had,
not great.
I still have a lump post that vaccine.
Like in your injection site?
No, under my arm.
Oh, in your lymph node.
So I got the second. We got the first one, then we got COVID.
Yeah.
And then I called him like, should I get the second one? Like, you should get it right away. And I was like, I don't know. So I waited like a month.
Yeah.
Then I got the second one. Within an hour, my neck was really stiff.
Yeah.
But they said like, oh, that could be a side effect. I was like, oh, whatever. And then next morning, it like moved down to my upper back.
Oh my God.
And then it lingered for like a month. And then over 6 months, it went from my upper back around under my arm and settled in my armpit.
Have you had that checked?
I did. I checked it. So it was a pretty big lump for a while. So for like 3 months, and I got it checked, and they squeezed it, and they're like, it doesn't feel like concerning. Keep an eye on it.
You're like, I could have fucking told you. That's what I was doing.
If I'd be like, I want fucking blood work now.
And then it's gone down. But it's still there, and that's
Is it
now
like a lymphoma, maybe then, like a fat deposit.
Yeah, they said it's there now.
We were pretty chunky for a while there, so
I was a little chunky, yes, for sure, but it's still there. So that's my personal experience with the vaccine. Shouldn't have got the second dose.
Well, I mean, in hindsight, all the bad reactions people have had. I mean, I'll take a fucking.
I'll take it. But at the same time, that vaccine, when you look back now, post COVID, of all the
now that it's over,
all the shit that happened, and then people are just like, "That's a good idea. We should just like close all this and make people. We're not going to make people get the vaccine, but if you don't get it, like." You just can't do anything.
No, you're going to be fucking shunned.
You're shunned.
Ostracized.
Yeah. You look back now, like, why do we let that go ahead?
Everyone listening to this, I'm fucking embarrassed for how I reacted. I'm 100% embarrassed. I was completely indoctrinated into that fucking
Well, you're also
system.
part of the medical field.
And
so-
I totally shut off my own brain and was like, because
they said it's safe. It's safe.
listen,
it's fine.
it's not me. This isn't me. This is a friend of mine.
Yeah.
But our friend of a friend of ours had never once gotten a mandatory fucking flu vaccine that entire time because he was like, I don't see the point in that. I'm a healthy person.
Yeah.
The flu does nothing to me. And our friend's always been pretty hesitant towards vaccines. Just not whatever, natural in my opinion. I understand that there are reasons for vaccines. I get that.
100%.
That being said, I've always had apprehension towards.
It's weird when you get injected with anything.
And I bought into this wholeheartedly. And don't get me wrong, like I saw the effects of COVID, especially on the elderly population, stuff like that. And I think it was great for them to get those vaccines. But to look back at how wholeheartedly I bought into that and the things I thought about, like,
Well, I think I think there was a really good I'm going to call it what it is, a marketing strategy by
Pfizer?
by the government. So it was trust the science, and everyone wants to trust the science. But had you been like, hey, trust the pharmaceutical companies, you would have been like, whoa,
Yeah.
what do you
Hey,
mean,
man,
dude?
hey.
And that's essentially what we were doing because we weren't really trusting the science. We were trusting the
because
pharmaceutical
there was no
companies,
science on it, really.
right? Like
there was
we
no.
were-
They're minimal science.
There was no
Yeah.
fucking tests on it.
And then they're like, oh, yeah, but they did tests. I'm like, yeah, but we didn't have any long form tests. And like, yeah, we're
Well, when you realize that the tests were like, they took those 80,000 people, they injected them, and they're like, oh, this many people didn't get COVID. And that was the test. You're like, well, no one really got COVID back then. It was early.
yeah.
So, and then they're like, and then the reason it's frustrating now, and like I look back, I'm like, motherfuckers, is when every time you turn on the news, it was like, this vaccine will stop and prevent the spread of COVID. And you're
Which
like,
is a lie.
I was like, well, other vaccines have done that, so okay, that's pretty cool, right? And then you get it, and then like 3 months later, they're like, oh, it's not going to stop the spread. Or it's not going to stop you from getting it, but it'll still stop the spread. And then it was, well, it's not going to stop
the
anything.
spread.
You're not going to.
It's going to lower your symptoms.
Yeah.
And then it went from that to it worked for 2 months.
Yeah.
And you're like, motherfucker.
Well,
Yeah.
Oh,
like
wow.
But like that's the classic. What is it? Where it's the fucking where they do the quick switch there, bait and switch.
Bait and switch,
right?
yeah.
They're like they trust science stuff, and it.
And people are already in hysteria from like because obviously a lot of people did get severely affected.
Yeah,
People
like
died.
so COVID was real. It really happened.
They were
a lot of people really
So
died
people
from
thought they were sold the idea of this brand new vaccine, barely tested, that's
Savior.
savior of the
That's
world.
exactly what it was.
Miracle spring water and a
Yeah.
vaccine.
That's what we all took. Snake oil.
But that's like the
he's-
problem is like the people who I'm hearing this from are the same people that are telling me, hey, this is how we treat this illness now. This is what you do. You know what I mean? In cardiac arrest now, we're doing continuous compressions. We're not doing 32 anymore. Also, this vaccine does this and you better take it. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yeah, no, this
It's
works.
coming from
I know
a
this
highly
works.
trusted source,
So,
yeah.
Right? And then next thing you know, half these people are lying about gain of function fucking studies and shit. Like it's all shady bullshit.
Yeah.
Like
It's fucking crazy.
I now want to read, even though, like we're in Canada, so Anthony Fauci doesn't really have any impact in Canada, but now I want to read the book and see exactly, because when he was on Rogan and he was talking about all this stuff, and the Rogan's like, it has to be true. You would have been sued. He's like, 100%. I would have been sued if what I was saying was not true. And it came out. It's been out for months now. If he was like making something up, it's not. What's the term? Defamation.
Yeah.
Defamation of character, yeah.
Right? Like you're just saying all the shit about someone that's untrue. Like,
Yeah.
especially to someone that high up in government, 100% you're being sued. But if it's true, and they're like, and he talks to his lawyer, say Fauci talks to his lawyer, he's like, this guy's saying all this shit, and they look like it's true. What are you going to do? Like, we can't go to court.
Yeah.
You go to court with a jury, and the jury they're going to present all this
Well,
information.
you would never go to a jury. You couldn't, because you would have to. Either way, you would have to give all the information out, right?
It becomes public at that
Yeah,
point, no?
it
Because he's a
public.
he's a public figure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking wild when you look back and like just all the shit that happened so fast.
It's just
Well, I think it's like even in Canada, like since all this COVID stuff, there is fucking buddy. Everybody's at like just on the edge. I feel like you know what I mean. Like just
They like push people to the brink,
my
man.
God.
well, the scary thing for me. It's like it's almost like they wanted to see what they could get away with.
Like, how
making
far could you
everybody do.
push?
Like what? Let's exhaust the ends of our fucking power here. Like what can we get? What can we convince people to do?
Because it was something like 200 billionaires were made during the pandemic.
Whoever owns the
200.
toilet paper companies, Sherman.
Yeah, sure.
Larry fucking
this is all
Sherman.
done by fucking Sherman.
Big toilet paper, big TP.
Yeah, big Sherman. I think it was Russell Brand who said, like, when we allow these things to take place, we're just going to be a state of
Constant crisis.
Yeah, where it's like, because that's where money's made for these big, huge companies.
But you know what happens now that now that all this information's come out and these conversations are happening everywhere? Like, I can't, those motherfuckers, man. Now, say there was a more severe pandemic and they had a vaccine that actually did work. You know, like people aren't going to take it now.
Maybe that's the plan all along.
Make
Kill off the population.
Kill them off. I just mean, like, if something happened, there was a new pandemic, right? And they're like, no, this one is legit 10% kill rate. It's going to kill no matter who you are. Age doesn't matter. 10% of the people are going to die. We have this treatment, this vaccine. It's safe and effective. It's safe and effective. People are like, fuck you.
We heard that before.
Heard that one.
Yeah, it's going to stop the spread.
Like, you burned like a big
12 days to flatten the curve.
You made a lot of people who are on the edge of not trusting big systems like that be like, nah.
Well, this was a victory for them.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
And that's
honestly,
the truth.
it was short term because like I think it's like people are like, fuck big pharma now. Like, they're like, fuck that. Like, all this shit that's come out now.
As we should have been from the jump.
beginning. But that's not the thing. It wasn't like, oh, who's leading this? Pfizer. Pfizer's doing this. It was just trust the science. The best scientists are working on this. It's like, no, these pharmaceutical companies are fucking working on a way to monetize this to sell it to governments.
The question wasn't, can we go back through the records of how many times Pfizer's been sued for bad product?
They have the most. It's like the highest.
Litigation. Billions of dollars of settlements.
Right. And it's
were they Vioxx?
Yes, I believe
I think they might have been Vioxx, which was, what was that, like was it diabetes medicine? No. I can't remember what it was, but the Vioxx scandal. Ended up like 60,000 people died from this drug Vioxx. And they're like, we should pull it.
Yeah, whoops. And we're Pfizer now. We're rebranded.
Hello.
Same great service, new logo.
And there's like, well, there's that one was a public one. There's probably, like, you go look and there's just like dozens and dozens of cases over the years of just bad pharmaceuticals.
Man, and honestly, like, think about when we talked about the Shermans and like the
generic drugs,
the wacky shit that was going on there where they were like hiring fucking private eyes to like fucking break in, have affairs with high level markets to steal patents and shit. Like, it's a fucking Wild West, right? And it's a lot of money.
They're weaving their fucking webs in everywhere too. Because like, not to get into, I don't want to get too far into it because like
it's deep. You can go a long way.
No. This is like, it's very controversial. I'm not taking a stance or anything. But you look at like the way that they are affecting people who are deciding to transition, and like you're looking like they're literally chemically castrating people.
Young in life,
the same drugs, right? Like, and it makes sense because like you see these people who are coming out and being like they're booking these operations over the phone without meeting them in person, and the people who are raising the red flags, it makes sense because this is the first time that you have this. What's the not a demographic, but a group of people who are somewhat downtrodden, people who are dealing with, struggling with whether it's mental illness or gender dysmorphia, whatever label you want to give. But it's the first time that you have this group of people and they have a fucking money sign over their head. Yeah, right. Like the pharmaceutical
especially
companies.
in the States. I don't think in Canada it would be to the same level as. I bet those would be big money makers in the States.
It's happening in Canada
if you want to
too.
do it, fucking to each his own.
If you're an adult, absolutely.
As an adult,
of who's advertising you to do it.
Well, but that's it. But it's like it's just. I think maybe the scary thing is how readily available and easy it is. Where it's like, what?
As a 16-year-old,
I'm always torn because I'm like, at the same time, I should be able to do whatever the fuck I want. No one should be able to.
Yeah, but
you're an adult
before your prefrontal cortex is developed. Though, like that's where I struggle.
Like we call adults 18, but it's probably more like 25.
No, well, that's
right?
I don't think your frontal cortex is fully developed until you're like between 22 and 24.
It was like 30.
Yeah, that's what I mean, though. Like 18, you can vote, you can do all this stuff. You're an adult, like you make your own decisions. But at the same time, you are not a fully functioning human yet. You haven't developed all the neural pathways to make the right decisions.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Because it's hard too. Because I don't know the struggle. I don't know what you're struggling with. I don't, you know what I mean. So it's hard. Like I do sympathize with that, but at the same time, it's like. These are
they're life
altering, like
altering.
We're starting to learn now that they're like these drugs, these puberty blockers as they call them,
hormone blockers. And stuff,
they don't necessarily like they say, once you stop, you go back. It goes back to normal. Like no, that's not.
No.
See,
like that's
part of me has always wondered and I'm always curious about this, is that because these are polarizing topics that a lot of people get fucking very passionate about. One way or
And
another,
I feel uncomfortable talking about
right?
it.
Yeah, and
Like, I feel
we were just having a
should,
conversation.
yeah.
We're the most. We don't care people in the world. You're like, you want to do it, do it. Fucking, we don't care.
Yeah.
It doesn't bug me at all.
We're all very liberal guys.
Right, yeah.
Believe that equal
Yeah.
rights and opportunities for everyone.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
100%. Like, you want to do it, do it. The one thing I've always wondered is because, like, dude, especially like our parents' generations gets fucking
They get riled
buddy.
up.
They get riled up, and it's like I've had unsolicited conversations about this, unsolicited, where they're just like, "All this trans stuff going on." I'm like, "Where? What are you talking about?" It's like the way it's broached to me from people who unsolicitedly have these conversations with me.
think it's
you would
everywhere.
think there is picketers outside their fucking house.
Yeah.
Hitting
Trying to
them with
force you to transition.
yeah, hitting them with glitter. I was like, part of me thinks like, and I honestly, this is how I feel. I fucking don't get my news from Facebook. I don't fucking look at any of that shit. Part of me wonders if because it's just so polarizing, it's just one of those things where it's a perfect fucking political tool to push you to one side or another.
For sure.
Where
The
this,
IRA, buddy.
you're this, right? So it's just like, push it, push it, push it. This is what that side wants. You're like, well, I don't want that. And so I'm this side. And then that side goes, well, we'll allow this. I mean, okay, that side it wants to stop, right? It's just the perfect polarizing topic. But I'm like, I don't think I think it's just polarizing because people don't know enough about it. And I don't think it's as commonplace as you're
Well, it's
led
got
to believe.
so much coverage for such a small percentage of the population.
Well, like,
And so it makes you think that it's more prevalent than it is. My mom's the same way.
yeah.
She's on the board. She's on the train of because they have those like the story reading with the drag queens.
Yeah. Who gives a shit?
And she's like, "You can't take Nova to that." I was like, "Well, I don't like. It's not on my mind to take her that, but like, I would like if she went. Like, it's like no different than a clown. Like,
Yeah, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
like there's someone in makeup, but it's not a big. Like, it's not going to make or break someone's life." She's like, "I guess not." But in her mind, she was so on one side. Like, you can't take her to the drag queen reading. I was like,
when I was in high
Why are
school,
you
I did a
sexualizing
play in
it?
drag.
Yeah, but like, why are you sexualizing it? It has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
It's just somebody dressed up in fucking
no,
costume.
glammed up.
Right? If they're walking around fucking trying to be all weird and
If it was
pedo,
sexual,
I'd be
it's
like,
different,
okay, listen,
yeah.
that's not happening. But
Well, and even the one there's like on a rant and rave for Kimber, there's someone who's like, this fucking shit they're teaching the schools, they're teaching them how to give blowjobs, and I was like, that seems
that doesn't sound
this
right.
seems unbelievable.
There's no way that's
And my
true.
spouse works in this school, and I'm like, do they have this book? She's like, no, and they would never teach this. And I'm like, okay,
They
yeah, it
barely teach kids about sex.
doesn't- Are you kidding me? I was like, it's fucking.
If anything, it would probably help everyone if they would teach you how to have sex a little better at a young age safely. But you get one course, they're like, this is a
This
condom.
is how you pull
should
out,
use
This is
it.
how you work on them.
Yeah, it's honestly, I think these topics, because they're so polarizing, they're just hot bunch. And honestly, we get back into the fucking Russian bot farms and stuff. I think we're, again, I'll say it again. I think we're in the
Getting
midst of
poked.
World War III on a digital front, and we are fucking so underwhelmed because they're not tacking any big infrastructure. They're tacking it at a local level everywhere.
They're doing grassroots
All-
warfare.
Grassroots warfare everywhere, all at once. It's a type of warfare we've never seen. They've infiltrated every small community everywhere, posting this shit.
So just to
stirring up
turn
shit.
people in.
It makes you think your neighbors are this person or that person when
Yeah.
really they're just regular people.
Well, you're destroying the sense of community.
Yeah,
like you're
And
turning
it's like
everybody on each other.
Like we're all going to agree on different things and disagree on other things and whatever, right? But it's like usually you can just be like, yeah, whatever. Like now it's
it
like,
doesn't really, on a day-to-day, all that stuff doesn't matter.
because like everyone I know my age doesn't really give a fuck. I'm like, you give a fuck about that?
I don't know though, because you think about it. Like, here's it. Do you think? I will say at least this: we would be getting in a lot more deep form discussion and maybe some argument if there was another. If we were a full podcast right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no, which is fine. I'm
Yeah.
good with that. But that's like what you say. Like when you buy it, it's funny because it's like,
Well, Dan, if we're talking about our fourth member here, Dan is American, and it's a much different.
It's a two-party system.
It's a much different political
very different
system. Yeah.
You have to be one or you have to be the other.
and it was just crazy to me because it's like if I'm one or the other, I have to agree with every single fucking thing that side agrees
yeah,
with too.
But even
and I'm
in
like, that blows my mind.
But that's the thing, though. Everyone on that side doesn't agree with everything. But they've made it seem like if you're this, you're that. Or if
Yeah.
you believe that,
Yeah.
you're that.
Like I'm like, it's so hard because I'm like, with conservative voting conservatives or liberal in Canada, I'm like, well, I like a lot what they have to say, but I also agree with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, that puts me kind of fucking somewhere in the middle.
Honestly, we're using a political system that's hundreds of years old
It doesn't
archaic.
work
in
for
a
now.
digital age when almost we'd be better off run the big ticket money issues and stuff run by AI. Like honestly, like you put weights on all these social programs and stuff, and then you have
And
like
you
this
could- you
X
could have
amount of budget.
You could have a board of governors that decides the weight of what to
Of what-
give these.
of what
Robot
all-
governors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'll take robots, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just robot governors.
Well, it just makes
Robo-govs.
there's too much. There's too much. There's too much fucking
Governators.
special interest in stuff in politics.
Well, that's what I mean. Obviously, robots can't govern us, but we
Why
use
not?
AI for everything else now. Everything to make our lives better. But in government, we're like, nah. This part, these few people, they know. They know what
No,
the
this-
whole party. We like it all.
80-year-old guys that have been around since fucking the dawn of time. These guys know.
They know. They know all the
Dialed
social
in.
issues.
That's honestly, that's the biggest fucking red flag for me. Is like, it's like, I don't know if I've ever met how old's Biden and how old's Trump, which are probably
They're
going to
both
be
late.
both
I think I'd be
elderly.
late.
70, 73, 74.
They're both
probably
elderly
of them.
men.
Both of them. I'll say this right now with 100% certainty. I have never, and I bet I will never in my life meet a person over the age of 70 where I go, holy shit. This guy's
got it.
This guy knows what's up.
Yeah. Well,
But you know what?
They're cognitively declining every year at those ages.
Did you
Like,
feel
that's-
that though when you said Biden and Trump? Did you feel half the listeners just pull one way or the other?
Yeah, it's weird. You're like, oh, either one. It's too.
Hey,
old.
we're in Canada. We can say where the
It's
fuck we want.
Two fucking wrinkly old men that don't know what the fuck. But because they've serviced the parties, well, maybe Trump hasn't.
But there's a minimum age to be. I think in Canada it's 35 to be prime minister.
Yeah, it makes sense. Okay.
So
get on board with
the
that.
average age of Canada is like 40 or 41.
Yeah.
So if you have someone in the age range from 35 to let's say 60 is actually representing the majority of the population. If you've had a guy who's 80, he's 2-3 generations too late.
Yeah. 100%.
But they're just honestly, they're just fucking placed. They're just
figureheads.
They're figureheads.
Yeah.
Well, in the States for sure. I mean, it's no conspiracy anymore. There's so much money in American campaigns run by Big Pharma. We've been talking about Big Pharma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 85% comes from Big Pharma on the
It's
campaign.
basically just fucking Pfizer versus Bayer. Who you voting for? Tylenol or aspirin?
Like Canada is much different. Is that there is a corporate limit.
Pepto or Tums? Choose your side.
Choose your side. Pharma crushathon.
Yeah, it's
But in Canada, there's like I think it's $1,500 for corporate donation
well, it's gonna be
on the books. I'm not saying there's probably shady stuff that goes on behind closed doors up here as well. But in the States, you can just see the money. Like this guy got a $55 million donation from this party or this company. You're like, oh, seems a little conflict of interest.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting too with like leading up to this one because this election I think more so than ever before is going to be very interesting, especially from the outside looking in.
Whichever way, it's voter fraud, and it was stolen.
Yeah, it's stolen either way.
Stolen.
Either way, it's stolen. Huge voter fraud either side. But this is going to be the first time where we really see there's like a platform with like a fucking like Elon Musk running Twitter who's giving like an unbelievable amount of press to whoever wants it.
Unbiased.
Unbiased press to whoever wants it. And right now, the only side that's taking him up on that is basically RFK and like all the Republicans. Right. And so it's kind of interesting because
Twitter is super Republican heavy, right? Like even I find myself watching some of the documentaries. Like I've watched 2 like heavy hitting right wing documentaries, and I'm like,
when you're like, who?
Well, yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna take a break here.
Well, the one
I'm angry.
The one from
I'm riled up.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, that one in Canada.
Canada's dying.
That
Oh
one. I
my
mean,
God.
that one is.
That one made me mad.
It does have some good points, but
I didn't watch that
it's
one.
Not. It's their points are it's the politicians, it's not the politicians. It's the judges, and they're going to say, "Oh, well, the judges can, they set on precedent, so they can't." But it's like, we just have no one that's putting these people like behind bars, and it's like you can just get out for nothing. It doesn't matter. There is no.
Is jail the right place for these people? Like a lot of these people are suffering from either mental illness or brain injuries from overdosing. I don't know how many times. Like I don't think jail is necessarily. These people need to be institutionalized.
Yes, but that's one of the arguments I hear all the time. Is like, well, jail's not rehab. And I'm like, yeah, but we could put money into the jails to be a rehab because we're forcing them to do it now.
Why does
we're forcing them to do it with no resources?
Yeah, but like I don't like. Why can't we get the funding back to the institutions where we can?
Because that was inhumane.
How is that inhumane?
That's why they closed, though. That's what I mean. Like they closed.
Maybe because they're fucking giving people lobotomies and shit. Maybe let's revamp the system a little bit.
Yeah, maybe just counselors and all the rest. Yeah, I don't know. It's
well, and just dry some of these people out because honestly, some of these communities need a break.
Some of these people can't be dried out though. Like that's a problem.
Impossible.
Like they've gotten to a point where they can't function in society, right?
Nope.
So where can they go? Do they go to jail? Do they live outside in a fucking
Where's Mr. Beast?
Hey, do we have another island that could be our next Australia?
Yeah. That's fair. Well, can we make a garbage island? Like, don't we have a few of those floating around?
There is a garbage patch.
Yeah.
It's quite large.
Yeah.
Right.
Put a couple pieces of plywood on top.
Yeah. A little rope.
It'll float for 1,000 years.
Airdrop in some drugs. There you go.
Oh, no. And we're canceled.
Yeah.
We're just kidding. Okay, we're just kidding. But it is. That's a very severe problem.
But it is. Too bad that guy from Bum Fights really fell off because, I mean, would be his heyday now.
No.
Right? Like
but no, they're doing it for free.
Yeah, I guess so.
Literally, honest God, it's bum fights every day.
Was he paying them to fight each other?
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember this whole story.
I thought he was just filming bums fighting.
No, he was paying them. That's why I was. I remember he came on. He went on Uncle Phil, Dr. Phil.
That's so funny.
Dressed like Dr. Phil.
Yeah. And then
have you seen that?
Oh, and then he says, and when Dr. Phil asks him a question, he goes, "Well, I do this and this for money."
No, he goes. Dr. Phil goes, "How do you feel exploiting people?"
Exploiting people,
and he goes, "I do the same thing you do."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's honestly.
He's not wrong. And then Dr. Phil ends the interview.
That's true. Yeah, Dr. Phil brings people on with issues and character development issues and all this stuff.
And exploits them for the world to see.
Well, he made that one girl a fucking millionaire.
Wasn't Dr. Phil not even a doctor? Wasn't that the thing?
I don't know.
I thought he was a psychologist or something, which means he'd probably be a doctor.
I don't know. Maybe he's a fucking
I don't know.
chiropractor.
That's what I heard, though. Let's Google it really quick. Is Dr. Phil really a doctor?
Is it like Dr. Dre kind of thing?
Yeah, he's a beat doctor.
What is he? He's looking at what?
No. Short answer is no.
That's what I thought.
What a fucking scam.
Dr. Phil is not a licensed
He's
therapist.
not a medical doctor or therapist.
Okay, but is it not licensed? So did he have his license at one point?
Doesn't matter. He's not a doctor.
Not a doctor. You can't call yourself Dr. Phil if you're not a doctor.
Can I tell you who I don't know why, I just really dislike?
You can definitely tell us.
I fucking like, and a lot of people always are like, oh, I like listening to his lectures. I know he's in Kelowna. People went, I just can't stand Jordan Peterson.
I mean,
I just can't stand him.
I like a lot of stuff he says. He's just very off-putting.
Yeah, I just don't like him.
He's very.
I've only heard him on Rogan. That's it. That's the only time I've ever heard him.
I actually like. He's a very intelligent person, but he's very and very off-putting.
And his Twitter, like every now and then, I don't know. You must have followed him or something. So we get his tweets every now and then. I'm just like, oh, buddy. Yeah. I'm like, take the high road one sometime.
No, he won't ever.
He's like low road all day.
Yeah,
dig in the ditch,
burn through the witches and slam in the back of my Dracula.
Yeah, he's fucking dude.
Honestly, I don't know anything about him.
With like random people on Twitter. I'm like, dude, you have 7 million followers.
I've heard him serve up a few people pretty good.
He's posting pictures of people being like, this is a shit. Like people are like, hey, I'm transitioned. I'm happy about it. He's like, look what they did to this poor girl. I'm like, dude, leave her alone. Who fucking cares?
Yeah, pick the right battle.
A huge audience.
He literally like whenever they say like, oh look, doesn't she look pretty? He, name's he. You know, like I'm like, okay, man, it's all good.
Too chill.
Like he's
maybe his license should be taken.
Well, you know what? The reason he's so popular is because he's so controversial. Yeah. So people gravitate to someone like that,
but,
right?
See, and we've joked about this before, and it's funny because like when Flat Earth was really popping off, remember when Flat Earth was popping off?
Oh yeah.
And then it fell to the wayside, and we joked because we saw how much like money David Weiss and shit was pulling in. We're like, the next fucking thing we're leaning into, right? Remember that? We're like, we're leaning into that because that's where the money is. Do you think that's what like guys like him are doing?
Probably.
Where it's like he's like, okay, well, I get a huge response by doing X and a huge money from doing X. So why would he be interested in doing anything less other than ramping that up for more money?
I mean, listen,
not a poor man.
Carnivore diet's expensive. You got to fucking buy those.
Eating
tomahawk
meat
steaks.
is fucking expensive.
That's what I'm saying.
Sooner or later, I'm gonna be eating grasshoppers. That's
Listen,
what
if
Trudeau
I ate
wants.
only meat, I would die. I tell you that right now. I would shit my pants till I died.
I tried it once because we have one of our followers eats only red meat and posts about it. And I was just always curious about it. I like meat. And so I messaged her one time and I was like, do you really eat only meat? She's like, yeah, this is what I do. And I was like, yeah, well, maybe she's like, I love it. I benefit from it. I was
She
like,
doesn't
cool.
eat like fats, like all the fat and stuff you need, and all.
Like the
Fats
tallow?
from the meat. I don't know.
Cooks-
No,
cooks
no,
it in
you-
the
marrow
beef
and
tallow.
stuff. I
You
don't
need
know.
tallow, or you need like the actual
it
fat.
is like the ultimate elimination diet. So it is good for a lot of people who have a lot of food allergies, but
For short term, maybe.
Buddy.
well, that's the thing. It's like you still need fiber. Like where are you getting your fiber
You
from?
know how fat
Where you
said
getting-
diarrhea?
I just can't.
Oh yeah.
Listen, I don't know a ton about nutrition, obviously.
None.
But does not the human brain run on carbohydrates? Can you not? Don't you need some brain sugar
Well,
to
that's why-
function
well, but
properly?
from what I'm going to bastardize this probably.
Do
but
it.
what I'm assuming is you're supplementing with the fats as well, right? So I'm assuming people
puts
who
you
are
in
carnivore are in
ketosis,
ketosis,
right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming. But your body converts everything to sugar basically, anyways, though, right?
I know. I just can't see that only meat. I could see like, yeah, I mean, meats. I mean, I eat meat.
I don't know how they like. How
How
do
did
you
you
get your
do it?
fiber from? How do you?
That's why, like, there's got to be.
Well, you have no problem shitting.
There's no. That's what I
Because
mean.
it's all
It's just
liquid.
liquid.
Yeah, you just fucking meat shits all day.
Yeah. The problem is staying hydrated.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just meat sweats. I was like, holy fuck.
I did the vegan diet. I did it 3 months. Wasn't for me. Then I did vegetarian for a year.
Yeah.
Wasn't for me. I'm an omnivore. I got to eat everything.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
how I am
To
too.
feel good, if I have to eat a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I tried to cut candy. It was like that. I was like, fuck, that sucks.
Candy's 25% of my diet.
I was like, what am I going to cut all the joy from my life?
Fuck no.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so fucking weird. It's so weird how they don't teach, like, other than that goddamn pyramid they taught us in school.
That's now been reverted, but not by
so
much.
bad.
But like, we didn't even learn, like, buddy, calories in, calories out.
It's math.
They either
all just math.
didn't teach us, or I was fucking
they didn't
stoned,
teach.
or didn't show up that day.
No, the problem is all that shit was expensive, so you didn't get it at home anyways. You got pizza pockets and Sunny D.
And chicken cutlets.
Yeah, you got processed carbohydrates. That's all you got.
Yeah, that's dude. I ate like shit when I was a kid.
Yeah, me too.
I didn't have
I look back
choice.
now.
Me too.
Pierogies, Pizza Pops, Dunkaroos, Pepsi.
I was eating saltine crackers with melted cheese and ketchup.
Well, I still do that. But
Oh man,
if I need a late,
he has the gall to call them pizza crackers.
they're called pizza crackers, motherfucker.
with cheese with ketchup.
Pizza crackers,
Oh, that sounds awful.
saltine cracker.
Big asterisk.
Listen,
But make
Big
sure,
asterisk on pizza.
make sure you get the salted saltines, not you can get the
Yeah,
the
I'm
nose
telling you
you
right
get
now.
plain. Fuck that.
That right down. You know what that sounds like to me? It sounds
What?
like fucking Fear Factor. You fucking pull out a plate of that shit. I'm fucking.
You have to clear this whole.
I would win.
Yeah, I bet you would.
Oh,
I also used to eat this cheese in a bowl and melt it.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I eat cheese. No, like I get
Yeah.
like block cheese. I'll just cut little strips off and I'll eat that.
Delicious.
Fucking never. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I don't think I
Save
ever
the
do.
saltines and ketchup though, buddy.
All meat though, man. It'd be boring.
Oh, I love
No
it. Listen, I fucking meat like cooked well is amazing.
For 3 meals a day.
I mean,
Wake up and have a steak.
I need a salad. I have to eat. I
That's
usually
what I
have,
mean. You need
I have
everything.
salad with every meal that I eat
Yeah.
normally. It just doesn't feel right if I don't.
Yeah,
That's probably where I get a lot of my stomach problems
I know,
from.
we're-
It's because I eat too many fucking raw veggies.
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, I think anything. There's too much of
Raw
anything.
broccoli, fucking melts me.
Really?
Oh, dude, I'm so gassy.
Yeah, raw broccoli's awful.
I like it with dip, little dip.
A little dip is good, actually.
You like dip.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you don't like broccoli. You like fucking
like
dip.
it.
You got a,
No,
you
that's
got
not true. I like the broccoli and
You
the
like dip. And
you got a
crunch.
little broccoli tree. 4 ounces of hell of a dip.
Yeah,
That's
right.
what you're eating.
That's
right now.
that's what you like.
Hey man, you don't get to be QDB without a little
guess.
dip. Do you guys ever get unsolicited? This is the one that's been my baby's 3.5 months. The amount of unsolicited. So what are you going to do with school? You going to put him in school? I'm like,
Are we
yeah.
not going
What's the
to? What do
alternative?
you mean? Homeschool?
Me? an absolute moron teach my kid? Are you
No one's
kidding me?
ever asked me that.
I get that.
You're from a fucking. You live in kind of like a bush league kind of fucking.
Yeah, it is a
Yeah,
little bit.
Campbell River's a little
Like,
hippie.
no one's
Like,
ever.
You know what's going on with the schools? I'm like, no, what? Do you?
Teach you about blowjobs.
Yeah, I'm like, do you have kids? No, not anymore. They're old. How do you know this? Saw it.
I saw it
Seen it.
on
So you're
Twitter.
gonna put your kids in
Seen
school.
on
It's like,
Twitter.
yes, I'm going to put my kids in school.
They have to learn somehow,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to teach them.
Yeah, I'm an idiot.
Well, I don't ever get that. What I've been getting lots lately is people like, I'll be at the store without my kids or my wife because I'm like doing stuff, and like there'll be somebody with like kids going crazy, and I'm kind of like, look, I smile, like do my thing, and they'll come like walk by and be like, "You'll get it one day."
Yeah.
They're a handful, you know, and like the kids are younger than my kid. Like I'm like, okay,
Yeah, okay.
you know, I'm like, what do I look like? I'm fucking 12.
Yeah.
Like I got fucking, you know what I mean? Like it's weird.
You could have a 16-year-old kid at this point.
100%. I probably do.
You might.
We have Jamie's friend is dating a younger guy.
How much younger?
He's 20.
How old is she?
Young.
I think he's 26, maybe.
Oh, that's not that.
That's not that
That's
bad.
not
That's not that bad.
That's
Not
a
that bad.
big gap.
But
though.
here's the thing.
But then you got to hang out with this guy.
Yeah.
What do you? Oh,
That's like your little brother.
Well,
Yeah.
no, so first time we hang out.
He's younger than his
He's
little
a,
brother.
he's a
Yeah.
super nice guy. Super nice guy.
Yeah.
The first time we hang out, the first thing that gets brought up, hey, this guy could almost be your son.
Right, you're
We're
right.
sitting there and I
Could
was
almost be
I
my
was
son.
I've never heard anything more off-putting.
Biologically, he could be
Yeah.
your son.
Oh,
I would just
absolutely.
keep
Yeah,
pregnancy and
absolutely.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, cool. So, what are you into, little guy?
Yeah. It's uncomfortable.
How you doing?
Well, he's like also like a black belt.
You want some fucking crayons, or
jiu-jitsu.
what do you want?
He's a killer. So I was like,
Yeah, but you're way bigger than you probably kill him anyway.
I don't know. He's
I don't know.
I don't want anything
He's kind of a
broken.
bitch.
Braden?
Yeah, he's a
yeah.
big
If you
bitch.
grab me in any sort of way aggressively,
Yeah.
I'll tap. I don't want to get hurt.
Yeah, that's fair.
I have to.
I don't
have
wanna get hurt. I'll never
complete
fu-
upper
I don't
hand.
wanna get
I've
hurt
never
either.
fought since the Boston Pizza Sucky. That was it.
Yeah, that was.
Well, you didn't fight.
Well, I got,
got
fought. I got fought.
You got fought.
Yeah.
You got fought hard.
Got fought. Well, I got fought with one punch.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I go, it's not worth it.
I see that every time I'm at boxing in my head. It's like my fucking montage.
That little.
I see
fucking
Zell get beat up, and then in my head I get like, "You're a bum." And I'm like, "Get the fucking back."
You're a bum, Rocky.
Yeah.
He just gets flashbacks of that guy looming over top of us. Don't hurt us.
Like,
Well,
have,
that
a,
was-
have a dino sour?
Yeah, of course you can.
I only brought in 3 beers and they're all gone.
I've looked back at that many a time. We were not in a good situation. We were like sitting.
Yeah, but they had to, listen. He had
What
the
were we
high
gonna
ground.
do?
He had the high ground.
He had the high ground, and we didn't even know what the fuck happened.
He had the high ground and element of surprise.
Yeah.
Well, and we did like the thing is like we were literally like eating and watching the game and like look over and then and you're like,
I'm glad you didn't do anything because you could have also been killed.
oh, probably that guy had dude. His wrist had fucking. He had like a barbed wire, but it was flames.
From what I
around his
heard from
fist.
the one girl who knew them is that he went to jail for 2 years for assault after that.
Yeah.
For someone else,
Yeah,
obviously.
that makes a lot of sense. He seemed a little unhinged.
A little unhinged.
Yeah, I don't.
Poor Cody got it the worst.
Yeah, because he was hiding behind a table.
Yeah.
No,
he was- we
I
couldn't
think
see him.
I had lingering post-concussion from that.
Probably.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For a long
You
time.
get
That
popped.
lacrosse season, I don't remember.
It's
That's
weird how much I
crazy.
don't remember of the playing contact sports era.
I remember going to lacrosse that year, like just 2 weeks after that, and telling Jules, like, I got in a fight a couple weeks ago, and like, I don't know if I should play. And he goes,
We need
you're
you,
all-
bud.
I think you're all right.
Yeah,
all right.
Jules the trainer.
Yeah, Jules
The
the trainer.
trainer.
With no training
Oh,
experience. I remember when Trotter got his head bounced off the concrete. He had this guy had a huge
Zipper.
cut.
He had a big old zipper on his forehead.
And I wasn't playing head first aid, so I'm like going, and then he's like, "Is it bad?" I'm keeping him calm. I'm like, "Yeah, man, it's all good. It's all good." Like I was just helping. Jules, the trainer, comes around the corner. Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! I was like,
Did he fucking stop?
Trotter's like, "Is it bad?" His eyebrows like hanging in front of his eye. I was like, "Dude, you'll be okay. Couple stitches, you look pretty. No big deal."
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it. That's good times, man.
Yeah.
No, but I've been thinking about doing some type of martial art training because now I think to myself, what if I'm in a situation and someone grabs Nova?
Yeah, fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
And I mean, I've been a scrappy guy, but I don't really know how to fight.
You got that.
I got the rage, but the rage only.
You got the rage rape choke. I've seen it.
I do have an epic guillotine choke.
Yeah, like he.
But
Yeah, but that's not a guillotine.
no,
That's why you gotta do martial arts.
No, but I mean, like, so if someone say something happened,
Yeah.
I've thought to myself quite a few times. Like, I've seen some videos where like some guy like grabs some girl and this was on video, and then someone's trying to intervene. I'm like, if that's me and that guy knows how to fight really well, I'm fucked. Like, I can't really
going
protect
down
my
with
own
fight.
daughter.
You know what Denzel would be good at? I can see him doing. What's that dance one?
Capoeira.
Capoeira.
Yeah.
We get straight.
Just like, okay, here we go.
I bet you want to, like, listen, the go-to for everybody right now, especially as we're getting older, jiu-jitsu. You want to know what I think you would really like and I think you'd be really good at?
Judo.
Muay Thai.
No, because I'm not. I don't.
Yeah, you
I don't
got
want to
long
punch.
levers.
I don't want to punch.
Why?
Because I want to throw and choke people to death.
Buddy,
Here's-
elbows, Zell. Kicks and elbows
But
are
I'm not.
everything.
I'm gonna tell you why I'm not good at Muay Thai or Taekwondo or anything that involves kicks. Because I'm super inflexible.
Can I,
Oh, yeah, but we can
all
fix that.
Well, can I tell
We
you
can fix
something
that.
that's going to blow your mind here? You're not going to do much better in jiu-jitsu because
No.
it's dude, you are just about.
No, but
If there's anyone
here's-
almost as unflexible as me, it's you.
Here's the thing. I know what you're saying. You want to like hit throws and all that type of shit. Like, if you want to know what works, watch what is being done on the highest stages.
Wrestling.
Wrestling works.
I was actually a pretty good wrestler in high school.
Jiu-jitsu works. Striking works. Judo throws every once in a while. Somebody will try and do on a UFC, and sometimes it works.
Yeah, but those are the best of the best fighting the best of the
But it
best.
doesn't matter,
And
though.
honestly,
Like,
and
it's-
here's the thing. To be honest, here's the
You want to know.
god awful truth is someone comes to grab Nova. I'm going to say 99% of the time, 99.9% of the time, the person who's doing this kind of thing is a bum.
Yeah, but at this time,
bank on that.
99.9.
You can't bank on that.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. At this,
You can't bank
They're
on
all
that.
bums.
I'm not going to bank on a slight percent chance this guy is
a
weaker
bum.
than me.
Yeah.
I want to know, like, if this guy is stronger than me, I still need to be able to
Okay,
take
listen.
him down. And
All
take
right,
him out.
here I got it for you then. Krav Maga.
I would
strikes
just
all the time.
stab
Kill
him, I
strikes.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, just kill him.
Yeah.
That's what they teach.
You know
Krav
what we should
Maga is all fucking.
You know what we should all learn?
but Krav Maga
Throat
would be
rips.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. Like, I think
good. Israeli
because I've heard there's been the argument so many times, like, oh yeah, the guy, he's got rage. He can, in the moment, he'd be able to fight. I'm like, but what if that guy knows how to fight better and he knows exactly what you're going to do and he just destroys you?
Yeah, not only does your kid get taken, but you get beat
Now
up
you're dead
too.
also. So it's definitely crossed my mind sometimes. I'm like, but what? Like, obviously, it's a very, very small chance. But if it happened,
Buddy,
why not just be a little prepared?
that is in my brain every day of my life. Literally, I'm like, I'm not a big man, so I need to be stronger than the majority of the population, and I need to know how to fight. Because if something like that happens, I want to know.
Because I in the moment, the rage would give me that strength. If the other guy also didn't know how to fight, I'm probably okay. But if he was a well-trained fighter,
But it wouldn't take many classes to learn some like beginner moves to like build your confidence. That you'd be like,
But
I'm
you're
gonna
getting
fucking
addicted to
toss
it.
someone.
You'll love it. It's so much fun.
It is kind of fun wrestling around. Like, I mean,
It's
we're
not-
we're all little boys at heart still. Where you like fucking.
well,
around, you know what I
I've
mean?
always been a really good wrestler.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's something to be said too. Like as human beings, we have these fight or flight hormones. We have our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. We have it for a reason. We're supposed to use it, right? And a lot of times we don't
There's way
use it.
more than just fight or flight. That's what I love. There's like other ones where there's ones like where you're like
But like what?
sympathize, where you're just like, hey, can I do something for you?
No, that's not. I'm not even. I'm talking just basically like at a chemical level. Like
Yeah.
you're releasing your stress hormones, your
Yeah.
parasympathetic and your sympathetic nervous system. Like we're supposed to experience those feelings. We're supposed to experience some sort of chaos, and a lot of us don't on a daily basis, right? So I feel like it manifests its way in different ways. Like
Tell me you don't play Diablo 4 without telling me
you make it like you make it in your brain though. You know what I mean? Like that's where this anxieties and shit are coming from, because it's like you're creating your own chaos because you're not experiencing it, and you have all these fucking hormones that you're supposed to use that we don't utilize.
Well, you're at least supposed to exercise.
Yeah.
But like I believe like that for me.
Braden, you're breathing so loud.
I know, dude. I was the
Unbelievable loud.
Yeah, he's been huffing.
Like you're just like sucking that mic in. You're eating that.
You read that blowjob book, eh? You just wanted to fucking.
It hasn't been the whole time. Just in the last few minutes, I've
Oh, he's
really
been
been.
going. It's been perpetuate.
It's been getting worse.
Yeah.
It's been getting stronger. Yeah.
My nose
Perpetually.
started,
And we're
I think
recording in the same room, so I can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
the dinosaurs. I think give me.
You got a little bit of reaction to the
some
fucking
green there or
dinosaurs?
something
Yeah,
like
so
that.
like I'm getting a little
gluten.
congested.
You're supposed to have a clearer nose after you got your nose job.
No, it's just 10 times louder.
But you should do something. So I've wholeheartedly support it.
Yeah,
'Cause
I've really
I don't
thought
think
about it.
working out's enough. I don't, because I've always worked out.
nothing annoys me more than when someone works out and they're like, now I can beat everyone up.
Yeah, but it's not even like. But you don't get the same.
I think it's
at
just
least
the
I don't get
confidence in the
same.
body, and all of a sudden you think you're a fucking.
Listen. You know, some of my really close friends that are super jacked, and I could beat the shit out of all of them.
Yeah.
And they're all bigger than me and scary, but
They all
don't
have that
like-
mentality.
Yeah, but they can't wipe their own asses.
Yeah.
Right? It's like
Well, I'll never get like that. That's for sure.
like nobody looks like that at the gym, at the boxing club. Nobody does because you can't move.
You gotta be limber. You gotta be quick.
Yeah, like there are the few like fucking Yoel Romero who's just like you're like that doesn't make
jacked,
sense. But I don't
Man,
know.
there's an Olympics. Okay, what was it called? Fuck, I heard about it. I'm actually was stoked on it. No drug testing Olympics.
It's great. I'm
Just
all on board
basically
for it.
like, let's see what the human
You want to see
body
the
can
best,
do.
the best of the best
I want
humans?
to see
Yeah.
the best, the best.
Like, let's see. We want to push the boundaries of what humans can do.
Not only do I want to see that, but I also want people to play sports longer. I want them to recover faster, and I want them to do more amazing things. And
As long as it doesn't
performance
result in a less life expectancy.
well, it will, but that's your choice.
Yeah.
It's your
100%.
choice.
Yeah.
What's it like?
Listen,
do it. Yeah,
I guess.
you're allowed to drink. That's fucking that's chipping away at your life. He's allowed eating fucking burgers whenever he wants. That's chipping away at his
That's
life.
not the
Yeah, but
burgers.
if you're going to do some PEDs that increase your heart attack by 1,000-fold.
Oh, I don't. It doesn't do that though. Not
saying
if you're a
you're-
healthy person.
No?
No.
If you're doing you do your whole career?
No, well, there are
Do
studies.
they actually studied that for that long?
I gotta look back into it, but I forget what I was reading, but they did the studies with TRT. Like
What is
testosterone-
TRT?
Testosterone replacement therapy.
Oh, the Rogan Supreme.
And they like the studies that they did on that long term, they also did it with people who
Isn't that just like horse testosterone pumped into you? or
no,
something?
no, God, no.
What is it?
No,
Looks like HGH.
It's
How do you get human testosterone?
It's created in a lab. Like it's like
It's
you get
synthetic?
yeah, it's synthetic.
Okay.
It's not real testosterone. It's synthetic testosterone.
Okay.
It
didn't
will
know.
suppress your natural testosterone, which is a problem.
But if you're already old, doesn't matter.
Yeah, because you're not producing.
You're down
Yeah.
50% anyway.
I can't even remember the fucking thing.
TRT.
Yeah, so it basically like the studies of TRT where they're like, oh, these people got heart disease. These people got fucking
Same rate as normal people.
Same rate as normal people, right? So
All
it's,
right.
it's super hard to fucking tell.
Yeah.
But like,
But yeah, I want to see a
also
someone
like,
shot put a
what's this guy's fucking
cross
diet
football.
like? That's crushing fucking TRT. Is he eating? Fucking
Well, I guess just
asparagus
if
and
you're just
shit?
doing testosterone, I mean that's natural. But what about the other one? What about all the other PEDs?
I do whatever. the
Blood
fuck.
doping.
Yeah, but that's like you as
They're
a,
doing it in the NHL 100%.
they're doing it.
Remember when the lightning, everyone had like was getting blood clots?
Yeah,
there
they were
for a
doing
while?
EPO.
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah, equipoise.
yeah. There's no fucking way that something wasn't going on.
They're like, if anybody thinks that all professional sports at some level aren't doing
They're all doing it.
performance
No, no.
enhancer, you're fucking crazy.
They're all doing it.
Yeah,
They're
everybody's
all
doing
just
it.
beating the testing. The
Yeah.
testing and everywhere is outdated, and these teams hire people to beat the
Yeah,
testing.
well, people beat USADA
Let 'em beat
all the
it then.
time, and that's one of the fucking best.
Yeah.
But I'm down. I'm good. Do what the fuck.
Hey, if your life expectancy is the same after, why not?
I
Go
cannot
for it.
wait to watch some 5'10" guy smash the 100-meter world record. Just juiced.
I just read an article the other day that this 9.49 or whatever Usain Bolt record is almost physically impossible by a human to beat. It's the fastest a human can run.
That's crazy. That's cool.
Like he's like built.
Like that just it was a big long article. I don't remember everything about it, but the summary was as the human body is at his proportions, like the perfect proportions is what he is for a
He ran the
sprinter.
perfect
He ran
run.
the perfect run. And I think they say it's obviously nothing's impossible, but pretty much impossible to run faster than that.
It's like
Cool.
we're just at it. So now what you're saying
Well,
is
what
we
about-
need the drugs.
Yeah, to
Let's
go faster.
Let's go. Push the levels higher. Let's
And
go.
was he? Hey, baby, he was doping.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Olympics isn't the Olympics the
100%.
most stringent testing though?
Buddy, Russia was
But look
fooling
at-
them forever.
Fucking
They
Icarus.
did it for one Olympics.
Carl Lewis.
Russia did it for one
They
Olympics.
got caught for one Olympics.
Yeah, that's touche.
I guess.
Yeah.
It's
Right?
been a while since I watched Icarus, but
Yeah, they got caught for one.
Yeah.
That guy says they've been doing it forever, since like the 70s.
Yeah, I'm fully on board with that. I let everybody do it, especially this. Like,
If everyone's doing it, then it's not cheating.
No.
that's what I mean. It's great, and it's like a lot of these guys.
It turns into like fucking Formula One, where you don't want to know what kind of formulas you're on.
Do you know what testosterone does for your muscles? Like,
I do not know the actual.
It repairs your muscles at a rapid rate, and so like that's what, like, when you work out, you're tearing your muscles.
Yeah, micro tears all the time.
Exactly,
yeah.
but testosterone is repairing your fucking muscles way faster, so you can work out more and get bigger.
And repairs them and makes them stronger.
Yeah.
So when you get older, you have less testosterone, so you don't repair as
If
fast.
me and you sat here and fucking darted our asses with a bunch of fucking testosterone and did nothing, you're not going to get any stronger.
You have to
You have to do shit. You have to work out. You have to, you're not just going to get
You're
fucking
just
jerked in
probably
here.
more agitated.
Probably kill someone.
Probably.
Get the rage.
I am not an expert on that type of shit, though, so I could be talking a lot of bullshit. That's just stuff that I've read or heard.
It's definitely probably scarier being a girl dad too than a boy dad.
Well, I just definitely thought about it. I've just seen some videos where like some fucking guys, someone's filming them.
There's that one guy at the playground in fucking Toronto or whatever, stabbed the kid, or maybe in the States, it was like stabbing kids at the playground.
I seen a video of a.
Was in the States.
Was it in the States?
That was in France.
Oh, France. That's
That
right.
was in France,
yeah.
I seen a video of a cyclist. Some kid was selling lemonade. Some girl was selling lemonade. He got off. He's like, "You can't be selling this here." He goes up. He grabs a sign, and the mom's saying like, "Don't you touch my kid! Don't you touch my kid!" And I'm thinking to myself like,
I would crack that motherfucker.
I'll go to jail probably
Yes.
if I'm in that situation.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm not doing something.
Buddy, all those bikers, they're clipped in. You just push them over.
He was a cyclist, and I probably like in that situation, he's probably dead, and I'm probably going to jail.
Oh my God.
But if it's a different situation, I'm just saying, like, you're in the park, some guy grabs a girl, she's 2 years old, and he's a trained fighter, but he's also a pedophile. And then you try.
No, it's for real.
That's a real thought.
Every person
It's a real thought.
should know some form of self-defense.
And then I try and get her back, and he just whoops my ass.
Yeah.
And then now what? Now he breaks my neck or something because he just strangles me to death pretty much. And then he takes my child. It's a thought that's crossed my mind when I'm walking down and I see some fucking homeless man. I'm like, well, I'd probably kill that guy anyway, but just in case.
He's walking around eyeing up everybody now.
I'm rating people.
Yeah.
He's like,
Chance of death.
any kind of mixed martial art looking guy's like, we got to cross the street here.
Guys wearing a tap out shirt.
Yeah, we got to cross the street.
Yeah.
But I've never thought about it until just recently.
Well, being a parent, you think of things you didn't think about before, man. That's important.
Because when you're young, you're like, I fight that guy, whatever. Like, you get in a fight, you get beat up, no big deal.
Yeah,
it's just
fun,
me.
Man.
It's just me. It's just me. I get beat up, nothing happens.
Yeah.
Like maybe something happens to me in the future, like something happens, long-term injury, but it's just me. It's no other life involved. Now it's like, if I couldn't do something.
I get that because I ran into a bear on the trail with.
Well, you're dead. No matter what kind of
fucking
jujitsu you know.
And Jamie, right? Bear on the trail. Black bear.
There's no type of martial arts that's going to save you from that.
Well, but that's the thing.
Well, I talked to Khabib.
Yeah.
Khabib's a liar.
I had the same.
Yeah, I watched a video.
I had the same.
It was a young bear.
Where I was like, what do I do now? Because like normally I would just fucking stand my ground here and just like it's a black bear, like yell at it. But now I'm like, oh, if this bear comes this way, and what if this bear's determined to get Roman?
Yeah.
Right? And like, because this bear is
You got to jump in the way.
You got to jump in the way.
Yeah, but
let him eat you.
it's gonna fuck me up either way. What if it's not that interested in me at all? It wants it's
He eats you, he kills you, and then keeps going.
It's like wants the veal, right? Like he wants the baby, right? So it's like Jamie's not going to be able to do anything to stop the bear. So then I stood there for a bit. I'm like, fuck, I didn't bring any bear spray. I don't have a knife on me. I was like, God damn. I was like, okay, well, let's just fucking turn around and go. And I just watched us for a little bit, and then I
shit my fucking pants.
walked away.
I think about that all the time when I'm this. Like I'm like, you get mauled by a bear. I know I'm gonna die, but in my head I'm always like, well, if I had a knife and I stabbed it in the throat a bunch of times or in the eye.
If you had a knife,
honestly,
if you had a knife,
you would.
You could.
And honestly, I think in that life and death situation, because I've watched a couple of interviews with guys who got mauled by grizzlies, like in BC and stuff. This guy in Campbell River got mauled by grizzly, and he said it was
no grizzlies on Campbell River.
No, in BC. Sorry.
Okay.
And they do swim across every now and then, but they get murdered instantly.
Do they get across like Quadra Island and then
they swim over, and then they usually get poached.
Right.
But which is terrible. But at the same time,
you don't want them there.
I'm sorry.
You don't want them there.
Fuck them. Get rid of them.
But
Murder machines.
I remember listening to this guy's talk about it, and he was like, I was oddly calm while I was being eaten, and I was making plans of what to do. And I would try to do stuff like you said. He would like poke the bear's eye, but then the bear would grab his arm and like crunch his arm, and he'd be like, okay, well,
Next.
now I'm in trouble because he got my arm and now he's biting my head. I'm going to like kick him in the guts and see if he has like try to kick him in the ball area. And like he would do that stuff, and he was thinking about this consciously as he was so I think you go into probably a mode where you're like,
Yeah, you do.
where you like get the eerie, like
If a 1,000-pound bear tries to eat you, it's over.
you're fucked. You're in big trouble.
There's really not much you can do.
Well, so a guy I work with, who was a paramedic in Fort St. John, he went hunting with his buddy and they got attacked by a grizzly bear.
Oh,
and the grizzly bear got him first, mauled him, and then went and killed his buddy. And he like laid there all fucked up
Played dead
while
was-
it ate his buddy.
That's fucked.
Yeah, and he still works. Like he's like
There's not a lot of bear deaths either. That's a rare thing.
scary, man.
But now in BC, we've stopped the grizzly hunt, right?
Yeah.
Because
Fuck that.
Oh,
Get rid of
terrible.
him. Why do we need him?
All the activists are in Vancouver, and there's no grizzlies.
Yeah.
They have no idea.
These things are monsters.
Yes,
They are
This is-
monsters.
Bears,
What do they do?
bears, they look friendly. They have 4 appendages full of 4-inch killing knives and a mouth that bites. Is like one of the hardest bites in all the animal kingdom. And we've kept them at bay with strict conservation. Like you can kill so many grizzly bears,
Yeah,
keep their
to
population
low.
But so if you stop after 4, 5, 10 years,
Oh my God,
the
we're gonna get
population
overrun.
triples, and all of a sudden, instead of having 1 death a year, you're going to have 5 or 10 or
and
20.
the other problem is that these bears are territorial. They fuck with each other. So then, as the population gets bigger, it pushes them further and further
Out.
everywhere.
God. Why don't we just leave with in the Everglades? You got those fucking
Dude, well,
pythons. Why don't we need tactical teams? We need tactical fucking
Grizzly
teams.
bears in 1900, like before actual settlers were in BC, really, there's just like some small trading camps and stuff.
Huge.
Like, they roamed the entire province, and there was tens of thousands of bears.
Oh God, fuck.
We
that.
hunted them to a point where they were
It was
endangered.
us or them.
It was us or them.
Yeah.
And then we got to a point where we had a conservation number, like, hey, there can be 50,000 grizzly bears. Their numbers will stay the same.
We made a bear treaty with the bears.
Yeah.
Well, we're turning this into Planet of the Grizzlies.
So what's going to happen is that
We're
people are going to
fucked.
start getting eaten, and they're like, we fucked up.
Yeah,
and then
kill
they're going
them.
to revert it.
Yeah. You know who's going to get eaten? Some fucking tree planters is what's going to happen. Some of these hippie tree planters
They're gonna get
get
eaten.
mauled because they're out there in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
in
but those are
grizzly
the same people
territory.
that are voting to fucking stop
Yeah.
hunting them. So it's fine.
Well, that's what happens is the bears' population increases so much that they eat all the prey animals,
Yeah.
or a huge chunk. There's been documented evidence of a bear killing 20 elk in one day. One bear.
Holy fuck.
One bear kills 20 elk. So it just keeps going until eventually
So
all the prey animals go down, and then what's prey left is
Us.
us.
So you're not allowed to hunt grizzlies?
Not
No.
right? No, not in BC.
Now in BC, can't even shoot
So you
them.
can
There's-
cute
there's
all the
no time.
you can kill all the cute shit, but you can't kill fucking scary
You can
ass
kill a
grizzlies?
bear if you could prove that it was life or death. Like
Which is, I would be like,
there's a bear. He was going to kill me.
Shoot him, then throw a gun down
Yeah.
beside his body.
Look at
And
that
he's got a gun.
I mean, I would imagine the COs would be on your side if like he charged me, I shot him. Like he's dead. Like what do you want me to do? Like,
I'm not going to fucking sit here and.
I'm not going to die for the
Honestly,
cause.
You would probably have to go to court
You would.
to explain.
You would have to go to
Yeah.
court, and I'm sure in this situation, if it happened, it would be fine.
Yeah.
But you just can't shoot
It
him.
would be annoying. Okay, you know what the other fucking crazy shit is? All those fucking orcas now that have been taught to fucking tip boats and shit.
Yeah,
they're
capsizing
fighting back.
boats.
Because that one boat ran over an orca and the orca's fucking the one
Fuck that
female
boat.
orca got hurt and has a vendetta against boats.
And they teach their young.
But yeah. So you're having a huge orca population now that's just like fucking
It was only a matter of time
boats.
before fucking nature fought back.
It's just a matter of time before the dolphins come on land, just like in The Simpsons, and they
Yeah.
fucking take us over.
Lasers.
right. The orcas are scary though because they're like
They're huge.
they're
They're
huge and they're
fucking-
fucking smart,
They're
man.
killer whale. Their names
and
are killer
and
whales.
they're problem solvers, right? Like they're problem solvers. They figure shit out, right? So it's like, you know, you've seen the ones where they like see a seal on the iceberg and they fucking rock them off and,
And
shit.
they
like,
teach the young how to knock the seals off.
yeah,
Just imagine that for some reason, like, what's the style of whale? Like porpoise?
yeah,
It's like dolphins and killer whales and stuff, belugas. They somehow had like a telepathic connection to the ones in the zoo, like in an aquarium. And they're like, listen, the humans, they trapped me here. Kill them all.
yeah.
Just imagine what they would do to
Kill
the
them when they
boats.
touch the water.
Like if they could
Scary.
talk to each other like over long distances, like we can with like communication, and there's fucking an orca at SeaWorld.
Yeah, that
Marineland and fucking
poor one that's been locked in the fucking one
Tillicum or whatever.
yeah, fuck.
That killed 3 or 4 people or whatever
Yeah,
it was.
it's just sitting there in isolation, swimming in circles. Jesus Christ.
Because we've talked about it before, like the size of like a dolphin brain. Wasn't the frontal
huge.
cortex is like
Huge.
twice the size of a human? Like just a fucking
man.
massive
They
brain.
think. We fucking
Yeah,
ride
they're
them. and
fucking
pet them.
rapists too.
Yeah, they
Serial
rapists.
Yeah,
rapists.
serial rapists.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But it's terrifying because I'm like, man, there's like, I wonder because this is what I worry. Remember what's it called, the 100 monkey effect or whatever?
No,
Never heard that?
no.
What are you talking about?
So it's
For
like
12 monkeys.
no. Maybe it's 1,000 monkeys.
Oh, they can type out a story or something.
No. If you teach, like if there's a clan of monkeys or whatever, I can't remember the exact thing. I might have to look it up.
100 monkeys.
Don't look
sounds
it up.
right.
Just say it.
And if you teach 100 monkeys, say like a skill, like to use a stick as a straw to get some peanut butter out of a jar or whatever, and you teach 100 monkeys how to do that, all of a sudden there's a phenomenon where just all the monkeys know how to do it. They just all
so
know.
telepathic.
They just all know. All of a sudden it's just like boom. That knowledge just goes like Wi-Fi. They all instantly know. Could you imagine like that's? It's like the same thing with like orcas, where it's like, you know, they all migrate and stuff, and like me, you know, one or two maybe conversation like, and we're only a couple years away from like it not being safe. We're tracking orca pods not for their whereabouts, but where you don't
Where you
wanna
can
be,
boat.
where you can't go.
Oh man.
You're like, okay, J pod's coming up the strait. You're like,
No boats
it is
allowed.
restricted to small vessels because they will kill you.
That's just like Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
Stay the fuck away from those things.
yeah.
Clever girl.
Scary.
Yeah, and then we're gonna get to a point where we're like, "Fuck the
Then we
ocean."
start killing the orcas again.
Yeah, good.
We're at double down. Like,
Kinda
here's
meat-
all our garbage.
What kind of meat can you get from Orca?
It's probably delicious.
Get a little
probably.
can.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm into
It's like
it.
dolphins.
Yeah.
Dolphins are in like isn't like 20% of that one brand of tuna is dolphin.
What?
Yeah,
Bluefin tuna.
What?
it's one of those tuna brands. There was the Cove documentary where they kill all the dolphins.
Yeah.
And then that led to discovery that there's one brand that has a bunch of dolphin meat that just gets blended up with the tuna
tells
because
me
they
that
trap them all.
it's
Because it's
Japanese.
easier probably to catch all.
Well,
those-
it's not like they're hunting. The dolphins are like bycatch of the tuna.
Oh.
And then there's like, whatever, fucking blend them in.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
fucking mixing
It's
a
all
dolphin
mixed
here.
meat.
It's
It's
fine.
all minced meat.
It's all fucking minced up. Who cares?
Dude,
You'll never
it's
know.
so fucking shady. It's so fucking shady what these companies, like all these big corporations, man. So they can't
Mon-
trust anything.
Money.
The money, man.
It's all about money.
Go to Walmart, buy great value apple juice. Says may contain
Human
shellfish
flesh.
oil. So it's on the thing. It says 100% pure apple juice. I'm like,
That's the name of the company. Is
yeah,
100%.
probably
Yeah.
100% pure apple juice.
Yeah.
Great value. May contain shellfish oil. And you're like,
Why?
yeah, why? Oh, it's probably because they use the same fucking
Same vat or something, yeah, but
Yeah,
still.
Still. You're like,
Gross.
disgusting.
Get a different vat.
Yeah.
You're
You're
not gonna
making fucking millions of dollars. Get a different vat.
You get a different warehouse?
Mix it up. But, you know,
Yeah. Wild.
All right, boys.
you guys think out?
I guess to go.
Oh,
Time is it?
I can stay for another half hour.
Okay.
Easy. 45.
Okay, let's take a quick beer break and then
Yeah.
we'll lose one and then there'll be two.
Yeah. Then we can really
Then
get
we'll
crazy.
really talk shit.
Yeah.
Oh, get
really
there.
get crazy.
Get there. Get there.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a quick beer break. We'll be right back.
What do you think about Facebook fucking banning all news in Canada?
Oh, as soon as that announcement was made, you know the only news I get? Russia Today.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
They're like, on those like June 22nd, they're like, oh, we're going to slowly start banning news in Canada because we don't want to pay them. Pretty
Yeah.
much is what it was. And then as soon as that happened, all I get is RT. I've never followed RT. I didn't even know what it was really.
It's just Russia.
It says Russia Today. It's Russia. And then it even says Russian state-controlled news. But they're supposed to be banning news, so I don't understand.
Oh, well, no. So they're banning because, so from my understanding of what, for those listening in the States, what happened in Canada, we've always had CanCon and
Canadian content rules. For
yeah.
Canada.
And it's like, and the idea is it's supposed to be that you have to have X amount of Canadian content to be allowed to be operate in Canada.
Well, so yeah, it was a thing's called the CRTC,
Mm-hmm.
which governs radio and television. 30% of the programming has to be it's actually not 100% Canadian content. It's actually 3/4. So it's like 3 out of 4 of these, and depending on the industry is what it is. But for music, it's like 3 out of 4 have to be Canadian. So the recording, the writing, the mixing, and the production, 3 out of 4 of those have to be
Canadian.
So you can still have like American counterparts, but 3/4 have to be considered Canadian content to be considered CanCon.
Yeah.
So 30% of radio in Canada has to be Canadian artists or CanCon. Same with TV programming.
Yeah.
But actually what's happened with what it was like the Bill C-18 or whatever,
Yeah.
that was part of it. They want Spotify and Google and YouTube to promote 30% Canadian content, which they said that's stupid. We already promote a lot of Canadian content, which is probably true. But also part of it was if Facebook or Meta or Google or anyone uses news, like links news, you have to pay them for that news.
Yeah.
And they said, no, we're not going to do that.
And that's
so
absurd.
they're going to,
It is absurd.
so we're not going to pay for that. So we're just going to ban news in Canada on their platforms,
Yeah.
like shared on Google,
Which is what every older person gets their news from.
which is fine for the big news, but it considers small media as well. So if you're
basically any Canadian media.
that's what I mean. So if you're Castnet, which is like our local like community news, that is now banned from your feed.
Yeah.
You have to go search out their page or you won't see it
Yeah.
because they don't want to pay for them linking.
Yeah, they won't push it.
So as soon as they've been doing that now, they're like, we're starting with 5% of the Canadian population and we're going to ramp it up every week until the bill goes into law in whatever, a couple months or something.
Yeah.
Which I haven't really looked into it. I'm sure it's probably bad. Any type of censorship bill in any way saying you have to do this is probably not good.
Well, it doesn't make sense,
in a
too.
globally connected. It made sense in like 1950
Yeah.
when there was way more international, like American bands and stuff. Like we want to promote our Canadian artists, which in Canada we actually have a pretty robust Canadian support system for artists. We have like factor grants and like these government grants. We're probably one of the better countries in the world for supporting the arts, which made sense. But now that art is global, making like these rules continue. It's just like government. Like it's an old system that should probably be updated.
Yeah.
But the people in the Senate and the government now are all old boys. They're like, yeah, we should probably just keep it.
And
the
don't
same.
understand like the new age stuff. Because my thing about it was what I didn't understand was, so Facebook promotes your news article and you want them to pay you for the exposure that they're now giving you for free.
Yes.
Right. And I'm like, no, normally for what you were getting, you would have to pay to get that kind of reach. So it's like, to me, it's like ass backwards. I'm like, you were literally looking a gift horse in the mouth. You were getting pushed for free to Canadian citizens.
I've seen both sides a little bit in the fact that,
well, Facebook's fucking shitty too.
just say you like an X amount of people use Facebook only for news.
Yeah.
So you're making money off those people.
Yeah.
But you're making the money.
Yeah.
Through targeted ads because Facebook makes their money through ads.
Yeah.
So not necessarily. So you go on Facebook, it tracks your cookies. You search toe fungus one time.
Yeah. One time.
Right.
Yeah,
one time you're searching toe fungus.
It'll never end.
But now that's connected to you. So now Facebook will recommend ads that are paid for using the data they've collected from you for free.
Yeah.
To promote a company who paid. So now it's like a weird thing that Facebook uses your data, which you gets for free because it's a free service. Nothing's free if the service is free, you paid for it in your data. That's what it is.
Yeah.
They've sold your data and a billion other people's data.
Because I've heard bills of like people trying to be like, well, they should just pay when you sign up for these sites. If they're going to aggregate your data, they should just pay you.
100%.
Because you know what? And to be honest, like if you had a site that was like, we'll pay you for your data, but we need you to do these surveys. You know what I mean? Like I would do them. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like now it's like, I don't do nothing. But I guess they don't need you to do surveys because they just fucking track your clicks.
And now like Facebook and Meta and Instagram, like all these companies now are charging for use, but their terms of service do not change. So you pay for the star or the check mark or whatever. They still do the exact same thing.
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing's different.
Yeah, it's wild.
And people are like, I would love that check mark. I'm going to pay and it's not cheap. I thought it'd be like $3 or $4 a month, which I'm like, it should probably be, if you wanted to eliminate a lot of the bullshit, you would have it like a telecom thing where if you want a cell phone, you have to give a name and an address.
Yeah.
And you have to pay a monthly
That's not
fee.
what they did.
But they did not do that.
They just said, give us a fee.
Give us a fee, and you can change your name to whatever you want. You get a check mark. You'll get less ads. Do you? I don't know because I haven't tried it, but I doubt you probably don't get less. You might get maybe 5% less ads. I don't know.
Well, it's like, and like now with...
But it's definitely not ad-free.
With Twitter right now, they've... it's like limited, so if you're not paying, like you only get like you can only see 600 tweets a day or some shit like that right now before your feed will lock up. And if you're paying, you can see 10,000 or something. That's crazy. Like it's crazy. We're in a really weird.
We're in the transition phase.
Yeah, of something. We're gonna have some sort of disruptor coming, and people are just gonna be fed up with it. Because you know what though, like the pay model is just not working right now. But a pay model could work if it's beneficial and better for everyone. I think because I think about music. And it's like you were buying fucking CDs and shit, and then it's like Napster and Kijiji. Was it Kijiji? Well, no. What was the other one? LimeWire.
Oh yeah, the file shares.
Yeah, file shares, and then everyone was just stealing music for free. Everyone was.
Everyone.
Right?
If you didn't, you're lying.
Yeah, you're like
you're fucking lying.
There was like a good ton of time where I didn't pay for nothing, and now it's reversed because now I'm like I have no problem paying a small fee to listen to endless music.
Now, well, I mean, it's changed a bit in the fact that, yeah, you're paying a fee, but you're almost still stealing.
Yeah.
Because the fraction of, like, the amount, the
artist isn't still getting jack shit.
Like, yeah, you're paying to a multinational corporation, Spotify, or whatever. Yeah, I'm giving them $10 a month. I'm supporting the artist. I bet you 2% of that goes to the artist.
Yeah.
I don't know the numbers, but I know it's not a lot.
No, it's crazy.
It should be like a proportional system. Like if you spend $10 on Spotify says like, okay, we have to take 10% for operation fees. Sure.
Yeah.
So $1, let's say, goes to Spotify to keep the app running. But you only listen to 5 artists that month. So that $9 to those 5 artists divided by how many songs should be where your money goes.
Yeah.
But it does not.
Yeah, it's so fucking weird.
Like you could go on repeat all month and listen to 100,000 songs, and you're still paying the artist the same amount. It's a weird system. It's not like it should have been like some type of digital jukebox, and the price should have been fair. Obviously, not like $1 a play or anything, but like if you only listen to 20 songs that month, and you only paid whatever.
Yeah.
50 cents. But if you listen to 10,000 songs, you should be paid for those songs. That's what happened in the video industry. When video went to streaming, it's obviously not perfect, but it was much more fair than it was to music. Whereas like shows on Netflix and still like you can still be an independent show and get bought by Netflix and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. There's no independent, people are going to be like, well, there is independent music who made it really big. Yep, it's very small. It's a very small percent.
Yeah.
And even those people, like I got famous on Spotify. I had 1 billion streams this month, but like you still didn't make equivalent to what you probably should.
Yeah, like
if you were the network,
made more off social media.
Yeah, because the network, like the major labels and Spotify have an agreement that their artists will get a much higher percentage per stream.
Yeah.
Than an indie, or else Spotify would never be able to exist. That's the only reason they're able to bring on all music.
That's so weird.
And it's weird that like music is the only one where it's like Spotify, you can get any song ever made, ever, by any artist. Maybe like a few that have opted out.
Yeah.
Any of them for $10. Imagine you could go do that for video. $10 a month. Any video ever made by any artist or any network or any entertainment company to ever exist for $10. Well, and you can watch endlessly for all month.
My worry for the future of video, because like I'm you know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna rephrase this. I was a huge fan of cinema. Not so much anymore. I've kind of fallen off because there's not a lot of good movies. There's great popcorn flicks and stuff, but like
good blockbusters, yeah.
True masterpieces. I mean, there's a couple. I really want to see Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan's, but he's put out I didn't like his last one. But anyways, I worry that these big budget movies are just not doing as well anymore, and they're starting to fall behind. It's like, yeah, these people like Mr. Beast and stuff, who make. I'm going to go and check out every yacht from $1 to $1 billion yacht. That fucking video of his made so much goddamn money, probably cost a fraction to make.
Barely. His videos are so cheap to make.
So cheap to make that it's like, I worry that we're going to start seeing a draw where it's like, why even do these big budget things when we can just make money by promoting, hey, Mr. Beast, can you do a dumb video for us? Right? And it's like, and listen, Mr. Beast is fucking smart businessman, but like he has dumb content. Like it's dumb.
It's dumb as shit. A lot of it is really fucking dumb.
It's dumb, easy watching content. Like it's not thinking content. And that's no knock. It's fucking entertainment. And that's what we do. We're doing dumb shit too. But it's like,
he's crushed it.
We're starting to lose the fucking, for like true art, you know what I mean?
The production and like true art, because it's like fast and cheap, right? And it's like, well, if fucking this guy and his 10 friends can make, $1 billion industry of watching. He turned down $1 billion offer for his channel because he did the math with his finance people. They're like, your channel's probably worth $50 billion.
Yeah, more. Right?
Just the amount of videos he has and the amount of views per month.
Do you know what's crazy? YouTube is so strict that he could get banned as quick as we could. Isn't that crazy?
I doubt it because he makes them so much money.
You think so?
100%. He would have to do something so outrageous and so against the grain. And even then they'd be like, just take it down. They would, because if it was us and we did something like that,
done.
It'd be instant, instant ban.
We got a strike because you made a joke that aliens would have a virus. You
just said that right now?
Yeah.
This one's toast too.
This episode we'll get. I'm going to preemptively, when we release this one on YouTube, demonetize it ourselves, because then we won't get struck.
It's under our terms.
Yeah. Because then we won't get struck. Because of like
we talked about vaccines.
Nothing we really talked about was like really controversial. We're like,
especially now.
Yeah, and we talked about some trans stuff, but it's not. We were derogatory. We're just saying this is the stuff that comes up.
That's just really the mainstream right now.
But like, they don't give a fuck. Keywords, boom, done. You're off.
No
strike.
Yeah, no.
So if we tried to monetize this one would be strike 2.
It's not worth the $2 we make anyway.
No, that's what I mean. So it's just like, whatever, just fucking demonetize this one. No big deal.
Yeah, it's bananas. Yeah, we're in like the weirdest transition phase.
Yeah.
Like we're in the age of subscription now. And there's so many subscriptions that people don't even know what to subscribe to the fact that they'll subscribe to something and then they'll put ads back on and people go, yeah, I guess that's fine.
Yeah.
I'll watch Netflix. I'll pay for Netflix and then also watch the ads. I'm okay with that. Yeah. Are you guys fucking crazy? The whole thing about streaming was you pay for no ads. That was the difference between cable TV and streaming.
The only way I would watch ads on Netflix if they give it to me for free.
Exactly.
Free
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
If it's going to be free, like YouTube, with ads.
You're going to be out of your goddamn mind if you think I'm paying and listening to ads.
But do you know where it's going? We'll see if this statement I'm about to make lives up in 5 years. Every streaming service will be subscription with ads. There will be no free service.
Yeah.
It's going that way. Netflix, so they just took the first step, right? They had the Netflix basic plan, which was $12, no ads. Or you had the premium, which was $22, no ads. They took away the basics. Now there's no ads on the basic.
Yeah.
So you either have to pay for the expensive service or the free one, which was bumped to $8 or something.
Yeah.
The next step will be the $8 will become 10, become 12, and there'll be such a small gap that they're going to go, we're just going to do a flat model with ads.
Yeah.
It's gonna be slightly cheaper slightly cheaper for you paying the full price, but it's gonna
they're going
watch
to
so much
pull
ads.
a majority of the user base into ads, and then once they have the majority, they'll be like, well,
All the big companies will follow. That's what I
Yeah.
mean. Disney will follow suit eventually. They'll all follow suit, and
Yeah,
eventually
it's-
cable. It'll just be cable TV now, but it will be streamed.
well, you know what though? I'm torn. I'm really torn.
There's a
because-
statement from the CEO of Netflix in like 2014 says we will never have ads on this service.
buddy, we're gonna sit here on this podcast and we're gonna fucking harp at the CEO of Netflix for saying that.
We get some motherfucking ads.
We said the same thing.
We did say the same thing.
Yeah, so
That's what I mean. So everyone follows the same suit
Well, I think-
because the money evaporates.
yeah, very quickly.
We try to do Patreon only. It's going good for a while.
Yeah,
Went to Spotify. There was no ads on when we were at Spotify, even though they're supposed to be. We come back, lose Patreon, lose all the shit,
lose
right?
Patreon, lose a ton of listeners.
Lose a ton of listeners, like 50%, and go, well, we kind of have to put ads or we can't do the show anymore. Put the ads on, and then you lose another 5% because
Yeah.
fuck the ads!
Yeah, hey, you said this 10 years ago. Whatever, 5 years ago.
Whatever it was.
Whatever. We should go back and edit that out. We should go back to that episode.
Just delete the first 100.
No, find out what the episode is, and then I'll just recut it and be like, I cannot wait for this podcast to have ads. We are going to have so many ads.
Ads. Stamps.com,
Yeah.
every show.
Yeah, dude, it's so fucking weird like where it's going because of like it. I'm trying to think if I'd be torn or not because I'm like I grew up watching commercials. So did you.
I still watch commercials.
We've only had this treat of never having to watch commercials for, not even that long.
Maybe 10 years.
Maybe 10 years. If you're going to tell me that the quality of the content, because right now we're in a weird pattern where I'm going to say the quality of the content is low for movies.
Depends
and
on
stuff.
it depends what we define as the quality. Just the writing.
Yeah, I'm just saying like across the board, like there's like
There's still great shows, but there's
TV. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. TV is fucking phenomenal right now.
We're the age of TV for sure.
TV is.
We're at the age of the short shit series, like the 10 episode series, 10 episode season, like a straight.
You're always going to be able to tell a better story, and you know what?
Like now, like we should go back and pull Lord of the Rings out of the 3 movies and put it into a 20-piece TV, like the actual Lord of the Rings, not the one they just put out.
Yeah.
Like the actual story of Lord of the Rings. Now put that into the 20-hour or 30-hour.
Yeah,
It's way better.
yeah.
Like you have
You just do the story right? So maybe my love for cinema has dwindled because of how good TV's gotten, and watching 80 hours of TV in a show is going to beat a
3-hour Marvel movie.
3-hour movie, even a 3-hour original piece. It's gonna be hard to tell a compelling story like Breaking Bad in 3 hours.
I mean, so I'm both ways. I don't watch a lot of content either way anymore. But the thing about a good movie is you get the full story in 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Like here's the problem. We're gonna build it up. Here's the inflection point of the story. Here's the hero's rise. Here's the end of the like. You get the full thing, which I like. I do like that format. But at the same time, you can if you're invested in the universe or something someone created, and you could pull that from 2 hours to 20.
Yeah,
I would rather it. And I think so many people do because TV is king now.
Yeah, it is.
There was a time when if a TV, like a movie star, like a Clooney or someone, went to TV,
dead. That was
And
the
now
end of
it's
it.
almost the opposite.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I hope they do. Oh, he's doing that. Oh, this is gonna be sick.
He's doing that new series, new Netflix series or new whatever, new HBO.
Yeah,
Now that's the king.
yeah,
Like honestly now movies, like the cinema, when you go to the movies, it's 85% superhero movies.
yeah. Or a remake.
And in superhero movies, listen, I did the arc. I did the whole Avengers arc. I loved it. I was invested in the story. I thought it was cool. But just like of times of old when there's 10, 15 years we're all westerns, in
Yeah,
19
we're in the spaghetti superhero.
I think we're just kind of on down the spiral of the superhero, like because that's all. You could look at it's like there's 4 different. There's
Yeah.
2 DC movies. There's 2 Marvel movies. There's some other fucking movie. They're all this. And they're the exact same hero's journey story every time.
Yeah. It's interesting to see because I definitely think that it's hard to say with Disney. Are they going to just continue making them forever, no matter what?
Well, Disney's going to continue making the Star Wars universe forever now.
Yeah.
The series.
Oh, some of the series is really good.
I like the series better than the movies. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, that's where it's gone.
So it'll be, man, it'll.
Yeah, because there was a time when we went to movies a lot. We went to a lot of movies. For like, I want to say almost 10 years. I think I went to a lot of, like almost all the movies.
And you know what was a treat is we went during a really good period of really good movies.
So right before the age of streaming.
Yeah.
Movies were still peak.
And like peak, like still like real effects with CGI touch-ups rather than full CGI. So it was like just, really fucking cool stuff.
That is one of the problems I think especially with Marvel and Disney. They shoot it all in that green dome.
Yeah.
And it's all CGI.
Yeah.
Except the character's outfit. The rest.
And honestly, I feel it does take you out of it because the worlds don't look real at all.
They look great in a sense that they're not real.
Yeah.
Like that does not look like anything.
There's no magic to it. It takes away that movie magic.
And then they say, we spent $250 million shooting that movie. The budget for the CGI was $150 million. I was like, would it be that much more or around the same just to shoot it on a set?
On locations? Yeah.
Like you wouldn't need like 700 graphic designers designing the background. You could just set up the lights and the lights, camera, action on a set.
Yeah, like fucking George Lucas was doing it, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, you need CGI now to be competitive, right? You need it, but
like touch up, like you can just touch it up. Like you can shoot in real locations and just touch it up.
And I know there's tons of movies who still do that, but the biggest ones are all CGI.
Are all full because is it cheaper though? Yeah, like you said, it's weird because it's like
honestly, the budget of those movies is like $100 million for marketing. Global marketing, $150 for production.
Is there anything worse than bad CGI?
And most of that CGI. Well, then you look at some of this. People do comparisons of like CGI from 2012 to 2022, and it's worse in 2022 because they don't have they don't want to pay as much.
Yeah.
Like computers obviously have got way more powerful, but the CGI capabilities are around the same.
Yeah, and now they don't want to pay big studios to do it because they want to do it on the cheap. It's no different than like a shitty contractor, right? You're like, I want a plumbing job. I'll take the lowest bid because
take the lowest bid,
right? Take the lowest bid, and that's what they're doing. And they're pushing these crazy timelines on these people to get it done.
Then the guys who do the good job, they say, no, we want this amount of money. And they're like, we can only pay you this amount. They're like, we're not doing it then. And they go, oh shit, we're going to set up our own in-house studio then.
Yeah.
So then you have Marvel Studios, or they used to subcontract out. Same with Disney. To people who are pros at that one area. These say it was background design or special effects design. And now they have an in-house team that does all the movies. They all exactly the same.
Yeah.
They cut, copy, paste.
We've kind of gone back to like, if you think about when Disney used to do, it's really come full circle when they used to do the like legit cartoons. And then like you look at some of the animations from like Jungle Book and what's the other one with the fucking bear?
Bear.
Yeah.
Like the original Jungle Book you're talking about?
Yeah, the original
from
Jungle
1960
and there's
or whatever?
one with Baloo, and they just change it, and it's the same animations.
The background. I've seen that comparison. Yeah,
and they just change the outfits because they already have it all.
It's already there. Yeah,
they're basically doing the same thing now with Marvel movies. Right?
Now they're doing it more often.
Yeah, and it's like, oh God, it's just it's fucking painful, man.
Like, don't get me wrong, I loved the universe. I thought it was cool to see superheroes come to life.
Yeah,
and like do stuff you could never really do before.
Yeah,
on video. But I guess at 20, you're like, where's like the fucking brain busters? Where you're watching, you're like, what the fuck did I just watch? I can't believe that, like the ending. Like the twists and the turn. I feel like because all I ever see when I go, when the band goes out of town, say we go to Kamloops, we don't go very far anymore, but like Kamloops or Penticton, we still spend the night. Like, what do we do during the day? We go to a movie because we're trying to kill time.
Yeah,
and movies, it's still like. It's expensive if you buy popcorn and shit, but if you just buy tickets, $12 or whatever. Well, that's a couple hours of fun. So we buy a ticket and we went to get Guardians of the Galaxy last time, number 3. It's fun to watch. It's like, but I seen it I seen the movie before.
Yeah, you've seen it before you went in.
Like I just knew what happened.
Yeah.
I was watching. I was like, I know what's happening here. There's no mystery. I know exactly how it's going to end.
Yeah.
I know from there's always the foreshadow of that's going to be the low point of the movie. You know what's at the start of the movie. They show in that one. Spoiler alert. Rocket, right at the start. Blah blah blah. This stuff happens to him. You know that's the whole movie.
Yeah.
You know what's about to happen.
Yeah, you're like, this is the redemption arc of him.
Yeah. Well,
And he's gonna
who altered him?
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Overcome him. Yeah.
I knew it right from the start.
Yeah.
But it was still fun to watch. Like it is fun, and I appreciate. I think one thing that goes underlooked in movies like that is the sound design and how like awesome it sounds, because that stuff is still not. There's no CG. Someone has to design the sound to go with the thing. Yeah, you design the set. You design the set. I get it. Yeah, it's kind of the same, but like you still mix that sound, and that's for me. This is the best part.
I think that will always be.
But will it though?
What's taken for granted on a film? No, I'm not saying.
Oh,
that.
I see. Will it continue? Yeah, it is taken for granted because you don't really understand.
Because people don't understand.
You don't see it.
People just watch and be like, yeah, there's a gun shooting. That's because I heard the gunshot because a gunshot.
I seen it. It went bang, 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 bang.
We're all stupid. We watch and go, yeah, gun shoot, gun make noise.
Yeah, exactly.
But we don't realize that behind the scenes that there's someone like has to pick that noise, choose that noise, time that noise, find out what noise is the right noise to make, figure out how to make that noise.
The only audio on a movie set that's shot in real time is dialogue.
Yeah, and even then re-recorded.
A lot of especially in those Marvel movies, most of it's re-recorded because they want it to sound larger than life. And the only way to get it sounded larger than life is to take it in a dead studio, like a vocal booth, or like a vocal theater, and then add the reverb in after and make it and ride the audio and make it sound way different than it would actually sound on set because it just doesn't sound like that.
Yeah, so it's so much work that goes into that, and it just
you don't even think about it.
And no, I mean the regular people are never going to. It's just monkey brains.
Because you see that it's a car. Let's say it's a car scene, right?
Yeah,
that's all done after all the noise, everything.
Anytime you've ever heard a footstep. That's someone
all
in
done.
a studio.
They're
like, what kind of?
I mean, they might use the original audio, but then they'll all reinforced every footstep, every shuffle of the clothes. Like someone unzips their cloak, unzips the coat, they redo it.
Yeah.
Someone gets up and shuffles and makes a little brush on their pants. Someone acted that out. You never even see it.
That'd be so fun to have a Foley studio.
It'd be cool to try. I don't know if that'd be my type of audio because it's kind of boring, I think, but it's needed. It's obviously needed to make the movie sound larger than life, and that's why people do it.
There's a punch body scene. I got to figure out what's going to sound like a good fucking.
And a lot of that stuff is samples, like it's been already pre-recorded.
And there's good enough that you just this is
for a lot of stuff like doors.
Yeah.
Doors, cars, car doors, anything that is like an action in real life.
It's been recorded.
But anytime there's movement, someone acts it. Footsteps, because it's impossible to time footsteps pre-recorded.
Yeah.
Because people have variances in their...
and it'll be...
how their gait. So it could,
your ears are good, and you'd pick that up.
You would get say it's a long shot. Say it's like a 1 minute scene of down a hallway, and it's like a hard surface, so clip, clap, clip, clap.
You'd eventually go off just a little
It would
bit.
start good for the first 20 steps, then because when you're at a car, when you're turning left or whatever, you click it on and you're in sync with the car in front. You're like, that's kind of cool. I kind of like that. And all of a sudden it's just getting off just a little bit, and then it's off. And it just never works out. That's exactly
what do they call that? Something synchronicity or whatever.
Synchronicity.
Spontaneous synchronicity. That happens. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, you just stop. You click your blinker. You don't even realize it. And you're like, oh, perfectly in sync for about 10
Blake Brothers
for about 10 clicks, and then it goes off by 0.001, and then it kind of builds up, and all of a sudden you're backwards.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I wish they did stuff. It's funny because it's with all the Canadian content stuff, nothing for podcasts really.
It's still the Wild West.
Yeah, because it's we have fucking hours and hours of Canadian content, but
there's no way to promote that.
No,
right?
Yeah,
maybe there will be. Maybe there won't be. Maybe podcasts will become under the bridge of CRTC, and this won't be a good thing for podcasts in Canada.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I mean, people should just be like, that's the hard thing for me is because like people should just be able to listen to what they want.
That's what I mean. And
Yeah.
it kind of made sense before when it was really hard to get Canadian content out. But now, like we'd be considered CanCon because we're 3/4 Canadian.
Yeah.
So now our stuff goes out to all countries
Yeah.
easily. We don't have to try and subscribe to some American broadcaster to try and get our show in the States, which was the case before. If you had say you had an AM radio station, which was the precursor to podcasts.
Yeah.
Started way back. You could have a show based out of Kelowna, let's say, on AM band, at nighttime could reach 5,000 kilometers south. But in order to get your show picked up by those by the stations down there on their systems, you had to apply to be able to broadcast your signal over border.
Yeah.
Now we don't have to do that. We can just say our podcast is available everywhere.
Yeah.
You don't have to ask any questions about where it goes.
It's interesting because I was reading a thing about like 2 years ago was probably the podcast creation heyday, where it's like
mid-pandemic,
the most podcasts ever created in a year, and that's dropped off by like 90%, 95%.
Oh yeah, I seen the article is like we suspect 90% of the podcasts created during the pandemic no longer publish episodes.
Yeah. And I read another article that during that time, most podcasts probably had inflated numbers due to like people listening for content for their podcasts.
Just trying to get inspiration for their show.
For episodes and stuff. And so that was like, people were probably seeing big inflated numbers due to that of like looking for content to copy. And it's interesting because I was like, there's a Russian YouTuber who legit copies Mr. Beast videos, shot for shot, word for word. Doesn't change anything. Does the exact same videos. And he's fucking killing it.
Nice.
In Russia. Like actual copycat. Like
doesn't give a fuck.
No. Just in Russian. And because he reshoots the same videos, he uses the same thumbnails, but he's not technically copywriting anything because he's making the video. It's just word for word. It gets into a weird thing because it's like if you did that with music, nah.
Well, music, the only thing that could be copyrighted is lyrics and melody. So how you played that guitar part or how you sang that vocal is the only thing that could be copyrighted. The drum beat, just a loop. It's not considered copyright.
Really?
So you could, because if you think about it, there's only so many beats, right?
Yeah.
It's not like you have 7 different notes of the kick drum. The kick drum is the kick drum. It's just the beat.
I got bass, snare,
bass, snare, bass, snare.
Yeah.
Right. So the only thing you can copyright in music is melody and lyric.
That's interesting.
But then there's only so many melodies.
Yeah.
Right. There's a finite number of melodies. You can do the math. It's millions.
Lots.
It's millions.
Yeah.
Really, it is. But the chances of you coming up with the same thing as someone else or very, very similar is pretty
good.
I'm
guessing some of those millions and millions of melodies are just not appealing to the ear.
That's what I mean. I've heard it discussed before. Like, if you have a population who's familiar with this style of music, and then you have a new generation of artists coming up who may not have heard the song, but because they're inspired by that style, they're going to create something very similar, even if they never heard it before.
We should start copywriting all the melodies that sound terrible. You know what I mean? Just like random,
just off note shit.
Like that's anytime someone does that, we're like, hey, that's ours.
Copyright strike.
You
owe us money. We're going to monetize your video now.
Yeah. Like anyone warming up the guitar, they just strum it or anything. It's like, that's my melody.
That's mine. Off tune.
Yes. Anytime someone strums an untuned guitar, we're like, we got that.
I wonder if it's been done.
I bet someone's tried.
I'm sure.
People tried everything. People are shysters.
People tried everything to fucking...
Any get rich quick.
Get rich quick off anything.
There's a way to make money easy. People have tried it. Fuck, I said laser bullets and it was already done.
It was already done, yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested what happens because there's also I wonder if we can find out, but I just seeing there's been a huge decline in Apple, like podcasts, Apple Music and Apple Podcasts, because one, it's two separate apps. Spotify has it all in one.
Spotify's taken over.
Spotify's 100% taken over. And that's due to Apple just been like, they were like
Complacent.
Yeah, they're like, wow, we had it all for free. So
We started podcasts.
Yeah.
It'll never go away.
No one will ever change. So it's just like where we'll go. The only thing good with Spotify, I would say, is that like so far they've just been like,
It's the audio app.
and they just stay away from like, we're going to just let anything go still.
They
Like,
don't
it's-
censor,
Yeah.
which I like, actually.
Yeah,
I do like
they
it.
have to, because I mean, if people are like we've been censored on YouTube, we've been censored, and if you've listened to us from start to finish, I don't think anything that we say is like fucking
Nowhere near out there.
tricking the masses,
No.
or we're just a couple of fucking regular guys shooting the shit about stuff. So it's like,
Yeah, did we talk about some crazy shit?
yeah,
For sure.
yeah.
Was it any crazier than a lot of stuff? No, not even
Yeah.
close.
And some of the stuff that we've talked about that didn't get flagged would have got you flagged if you could have done this stuff in the 60s, and then it turned out to be true. So suck it. Right? So I can't fucking wait, man. I can't fucking wait for like the next 20 years of the shit we're going to find out that was going on now. Like right now, it's
I
going to
just
be,
imagine.
oh, dude.
Can you imagine the stuff that we're going to find out that happened in the 2020s, like early 2020s, the pandemic
greatest-
era?
You don't think anything shady happened during the greatest wealth transfer in history?
Trillions of dollars went from top to bottom, or bottom to top.
Bottom to top. Like insane.
In like a year or two.
Yeah.
Just no big deal. Let's take that. It's ours now.
Like just fucking insanity, and all the stock manipulation and stuff. I saw a great video of Nancy Pelosi being asked, because her and her husband, greatest stock traders in history.
They're just really good at it.
Yeah, and someone legit was like, "Is it a crime for your husband to you give insider trading tips to your husband?"
What'd she say?
She just walked off the stage.
Didn't even respond.
Didn't even respond. See, that's one. And Dan, sorry if you listen to this, but like you tell that to Dan, because Dan, I'm like, Dan's left wing. It's fine. We're left leaning too.
Well,
Like you said.
also Dan is he's a son of a member of service.
Yeah.
They're a very political family.
Patriot. He's a patriot. But he's like, I'm like, dude, isn't it fucked up a little bit that like she and her husband, who are like head of government, are the greatest traders in the history of stock trading? He goes, well, technically they're not doing anything illegal. And I'm like, buddy,
That's the problem.
That's a problem. Like, isn't that like, shouldn't they be fighting to close loopholes?
Not exploit them.
Like not, yeah. And it's like, it's so fucking crazy to me. But it's like, no, they're on the left. It's all good. You know what I mean? Like, don't worry about them.
You know what?
The other side's bad. They're all bad.
They're all, and dude, no one in politics is, especially in the States, there's no way you're in it. The only reason you get to the top of politics in the States is because you have money. And the reason you have money is because you're backed by a company who's going to give you money to run the race.
Yeah.
There's no other way. You get the probably greatest potential leaders of America, of the leader of the free world, will never get heard because they're not going to accept that money.
No.
Right? So you're probably the brightest minds with the best visionaries, the best people probably to lead the world are never going to get heard because they're not willing to accept the money from the corporation.
And in the climate we have right now, people with money have the power to censor those people.
Exactly.
That's kind of why I worry and I question, like, dude, I never knew who RFK was until all this negative shit was coming out about him.
I knew there was RFK,
Yeah,
but I didn't know anything more than that,
yeah,
really.
that was it. And then it's like all this nonstop shit, which has made me then watch
back, have a double
because I'm
take.
like, oh, this guy's fucking crazy based on everything I've read. And then I hear him talking, I'm like, fuck, he sounds pretty legit. Like, I like what he's saying. He doesn't trust the CIA.
Listen, I'm sure
CIA killed his uncle. He's like, yeah, he did.
I'm sure. I mean, 100%. He's not 100% right. No one is.
No.
I'm sure. But yeah, I agree. When I first heard when he became mainstream, let's say, I was like, all right, guy's probably quack a little bit, like his fucking the Kennedys, like he's probably got some like post-traumatic syndrome from having his uncle and half his family fucking murdered. Let's say,
Yeah.
But you know what? The one thing everyone,
I don't like Trump. No one really. I mean, he's a character.
I don't know.
I don't really know him, but
I don't like him from his shows.
I only like him from his shows. It's hilarious. But what I'm saying, when he had when the original debate, I think it was with Hillary Clinton or something, and they're asking about the loopholes, he goes, "Yeah, I use them. Everyone uses them.
Yeah.
They exist, so we use them." I was like, well, at least he's telling the truth.
Yeah.
At least he said, like, yeah, I use them because I know she uses them and he uses them. We all use them.
Yeah.
Everyone who has money uses them because it's part of the tax code, and we all use them. Someone could have came in and said, I'm going to run on this platform to close these loopholes. It's going to save the American economy $500 billion a year. And we can use that money X, Y, and Z or whatever. But at least he's like, yeah, we all use them. We're all fucking scumbags together.
Yeah.
And no one's like, and then people said, fuck that guy.
Yeah. It's weird because I always love when a politician is painting him as like a fucking, I'm like, well, he's just like, you're looking in a mirror here, except he's telling everyone exactly how he is.
Yeah, I cheat the system.
Yeah.
We all cheat the system. You guys can't cheat the system because you don't have enough money to cheat the system, but we have enough money to cheat the system, so
They're
we cheat the system.
yeah, he had an affair with a porn star. Well, Bill Clinton let a fucking intern suck him off when he was president.
Was it in the Oval Office or some shit?
You know what I mean? They're all fucking crooked. They're all human is what it is. They're all human.
Everyone's
right?
human. Everyone's suspect of corruption.
Yeah. So I just think it's funny when it's like, the ones I like, the ones like, I fucking love Bernie Sanders. Hilarious. Right?
You mean Larry David?
Yeah, Larry David, basically. I always thought he's like, and the reason why is people just think he's socialist, so we'll never get in. But like, dude, we shouldn't be right now. How everything is working it's a huge financial trap for people, because you come out of school and they're like, you have to go to university to get a job. And university's so fucking expensive.
It's going to cost you $100,000.
They said, it costs you $100,000 to then go get a fucking entry level job that makes 55.
If that, less, probably.
Right? And then you're saddled with that, and then it's like, then you have the fucking, wedding industry. So if you gotta have a $30,000 wedding, right? And then you gotta buy a fucking huge house, and it's just like they saddle you with
You're 35 years old. You have $300,000 of debt.
Yeah, and you're just like, that's a lifetime of debt. That's a lifetime of debt to pay off. Like, it's insane. Like, to subscribe to that system and think that's any kind of dream is fucking insane.
Yeah,
right? Like,
it was the dream in 1955.
Yeah.
When you could buy a house for equivalently, so a house back then, whatever it was, now would be like a house that was $200,000. But that same house now is $1 million.
Yeah.
So 5 times more expensive than what, adjusting for inflation and wages, 5 times more expensive or more, depending on what city you live in, from 1955 or 60.
Dude,
like,
and we allow huge fucking like money management groups like BlackRock to start buying up residential housing is a fucking crime. It's insane. Like the
landlord eventually will be corporate.
Yeah, it's insane. Right?
If you don't own, because right now the standard homeowner owns between 1 and 2 houses.
Yeah.
And that's including the people who own 1,000.
Yeah.
So like average 1 or 2. So most people don't own a house. Like half people don't own a house, probably never will.
Yeah.
Eventually, there's be companies that own 10,000, 100,000 properties.
Yeah, and this is a BlackRock property.
Yeah, corporate. Like the Walmart owns this block.
Yeah.
You have to pay them X amount a month. That's rent. Legit landlord.
Yeah.
Landlord, though, is a corporation. It's a separate entity.
And dude, one of the biggest fucking scams that I see right now is they'll allow companies to build condos, and they'll allow a company to build a condo under the rule that the condos are not for sale, they're for rent.
For rent, yep.
Right? But then these companies, and the idea is good in theory, you're going to rent these condos to people that can't afford to buy. But then you charge them the rent on these new condos.
Is more than the mortgage would be.
Twice sometimes of what the mortgage would be on these.
Well, that's
condos.
Market value,
right? And then it's insane. So then they're making more money through the fucking rent than they were ever going to the sale. And then once that place is trashed, then they sell the unit once they're allowed after the 5-year turns up.
And the person renting that unit, they've been renting that unit say for 2 years. Like, I've been making $3,500 payments every month for 2 years. Here's my wage, blah, 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 blah. I want to buy this place. It's going to make my payment $2,000 a month.
You can't afford that.
You can't afford that.
Yeah. It'll cripple you.
It'll financially cripple you. And our ratio says that you cannot afford that place. But I was like, but I'm paying double to live in the exact same apartment
that I want to buy.
And they go, you can't buy it though because you can't afford it.
Yeah, there's some weird fights.
And you're like, what about, how?
We have currently right now in Canada the most shorted. It's the most shorted housing market in the world.
It's the biggest housing bubble to ever exist.
Yeah.
In the modern world.
Yeah. And like it's
100% inflated.
Yeah. It's something like we are on the precipice of like an unbelievable crash. Like it's just a matter of time.
The crazy thing though is they've been saving it for 5 years. We're on the precipice of an inevitable housing bubble collapse. And then this gets worse and it gets worse. And they go, we're still on the edge. I was like, where were we 5 years ago? We're in the center.
Yeah.
We were on the edge 5 years ago. They're like, it just keeps going up.
Well, I think what's happened in Canada, and I don't think like this isn't public, this is just my theory, is I think that some of our major banks are so over leveraged. And if there was ever a run on them,
there's any run on any bank that collapse.
But like, and not only that, but like the government doesn't have the money to even save for like what they would have to.
The household debt of Canada, just the private household debt for regular people is worth more than the entire yearly GDP of Canada.
Yeah.
We're in more debt than we make. And people are like, it's fine.
Yeah.
You're like, what? What do you mean it's fine?
Like batten down the hatches in Canada because I'm like
no joke.
The only good thing is I'm like I don't know if our housing market collapse would affect the world as it would like the States one did.
No chance, no.
Right?
It's too small.
It's too small, but it would
they have a slight ripple maybe through the States a little bit because there's a lot of foreign investors. Most of them are from the States.
Yeah, but it's. Like it's coming, man. You can just feel it. You can feel it in the air. Everything's so fucking expensive right now.
Just construction in general is so expensive. So I built a house in 2016. I built the footings, foundation, I framed it to the roof, I did the flooring, cabinets, blah, 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 all this stuff. It cost me I think it was like $450.
Yeah.
Which I thought was extremely expensive.
Yeah, that's
I sold it, I made a little bit of money, and I bought this place. It's an old ass house.
Yeah.
1974, original, destroyed. To rebuild that same house from 2016 and 2023 is $1.4 million. The exact same house.
It's insane.
Triple. And I went, how? How is it even possible? It was a small lot. It was a tiny lot, like barely any yard. Just enough for a house. A house and a tiny little walkway with a small patch of grass. Very low maintenance. Small house. And now it's $1.4 million in this exact same city, in the exact same place, in Talus Ridge and Shannon Lake on the west side.
It's insane.
It was a nice house, but it wasn't.
That wasn't that nice.
It was 2,400 square. It was not huge. It was a regular family house.
I lived there.
Oh, it was after that.
Oh,
one.
the other one? Oh, okay.
But it was pretty much the same. Pretty much the same.
It's what I think is going to happen first is I think because there's right now, like even in Campbell River, there's some developers and they have whole subdivisions that are being built by these developers. And I go, how the fuck?
With prepayment.
Right?
Pre-buy.
Yeah, but I think what's going to happen is things are going to start to crash. And these developers are going to go belly up. I think that's going to be the first wave. Is all these developers that own all these properties that are
can't sell
for sale,
them.
They can't sell them. They're going to sit. Then these developers are going to go belly up, and that's going to just start triggering things.
Well, they're going to sit first. Then they're going to drop the price.
Yeah.
They're going to drop the price again. And that's going to trigger a trickle-down drop of price.
Yeah.
Where people who were in the market looking for a house that was whatever is now 20% less. They're going to buy that one. And then the houses, and this is going to keep going. And all of a sudden there's going to be a flood. Similar, 2008 was different because they were like giving 0% houses. It was a little different. But now it's more inflated that the point that everyone's speculating that it's going to keep going. Like prices are rising. So people are bought and speculating they're going to keep going. And as soon as it starts to crash, people are going to start selling instantly because they're going to see the end of the market. So you're going to have people that are holding that, like 50 properties. sell them at a discount, and that's going to trigger a downward spiral. For how far does it go? I have no idea. And I don't think anyone really does.
And for those of you listening in the States, like one of the other things that's happened, just to kind of paint a picture of how bad our housing market is right now, is like 5 or 6 years ago, basically Canadians were sold the idea that our interest rates were going to be low forever. And you could get like
2% interest rates forever.
I actually could have locked in at 1.8 when I first was looking.
We're going to buy a house in.
Yeah. And if that's cheap interest. So they were like,
almost free money.
Now's the time to get a car. Now's the time to buy a house. Now's the time to...
Rest assured, interest rates will stay low for a long time,
right?
forever.
Now the housing market's gone crazy. You know, housing prices have in some places quadrupled within a year. And all of a sudden, when the market starts to crumble, the Bank of Canada goes, hey, remember those interest rates that we said were never going to go up? They have to go up.
A lot.
Like
6%.
Yeah. So what's happened is like within the last year, you have people who have bought in the last 5 years whose mortgage payments have increased, some by like 40%.
More, double.
80%.
If you bought a house, let's say it had a $500,000 mortgage or $600,000 at sub 2%, and you're signing back on close to 7%, your mortgage payment's going up like $1,200 a month.
So a lot of these people, what's happening is that the interest, they're now only paying interest on their loans.
No principal,
No principal, which is then triggering the bank to go, hey, you need to put in more down payment down so you can fucking pay the principal, because right now you're not even covering the entire interest every month. And
we're going to tack it on to the end of your term though.
And now we're getting like 60, 70, 80 mortgages. Like, it's fucking insane. Dude, this system is like, I'm just waiting because like
every system like this pushes people to the max, because you're farming people for money is what you're doing.
Yeah.
So eventually you farm people for all the money. There's no money left to farm. And then you go, fuck. But then your stock price is based on you farming people out for more money. So then when it comes to the point where there's no more money to be farmed out, then people start pulling stock.
Yeah.
And then the bank wants their money.
Yeah.
It's just everyone sees it. And then construction. So construction prices are skyrocketing because for every 2 people retiring in the trades, there's only 1 taking their place.
Yeah.
Right? So in the last 5 years, in BC alone had like 10,000 tradespeople retire. And only 5,000 take their place when we were already in a 20,000 person shortage.
Yeah.
So now there's nowhere to build houses because they've told kids for the last 20 years, trades are stupid. They're for dumb people.
Yeah.
You should go to art school.
Yeah.
Get a Bachelor of Arts and then work at the bank or wherever the fuck you work at. So now there's no kids coming in. In the last year, they've seen the problem and they're trying to revert it. Like, we'll pay for your trade school. Trades are important. You got commercials on TV. Trades are the best. You have to go into trades. So probably there's kids probably going into trades now, but it's going to be
years,
5, 6, 7, 8 years at least before those kids are trained to the point where they can actually do jobs on their own.
And the problem is so bad that it's
and
it's only going to be worse in another 8 years.
To deal with the problem, Canada has increased immigration by tenfold.
Yeah.
So we're getting, like 500,000 people a year now or something crazy coming in.
But we have no houses for them.
Which is fine. Like it's good. Bring people in. This country is built on immigrants from all over.
Yeah.
Which is all good. But there's no one to build the houses. So increasing the supply on the
people.
There's more people coming in. There's less houses being built. And it's just get to a point where either only corporations can buy houses, or the whole thing just goes.
If in Canada right now, if you have to rent a house, like I'm renting right now, if I were to lose my rental, you go into what's called rental hell, where you have, it's like fucking winning the lottery. You go on Facebook Marketplace, all the fucking rental websites, and you just keep hitting refresh. And the second
one
pops up on a listing, you have to call them and message them, because usually that person is bombarded with between 150 and 300 applicants within half an hour that are looking for a house. And then you have to try to stand out and you have to try to get, and normally that rent's astronomical, but there's nowhere else to rent.
You've been pigeonholed into an overpriced
rental.
So the demand is far exceeds the supply. So then fucking prices go up.
There was just the other day, it was just like, we need to build something like 500,000 units just in BC over the next 10 years to meet growing demand. And we're on pace to build 75,000.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, that seems pretty bad.
Seems like a problem.
Seems like maybe a little bit of a problem. And they're like, well, what about other more immigrant skilled trades, like immigrant workers from wherever, Mexico, from Europe, from wherever they can come. They're going other places because it's too expensive to come and live here.
Yeah.
You can't bring in immigrants who are skilled. I'm not talking about people who are fleeing, war-torn.
Yeah.
I'm talking about people who have been a carpenter for 20 years. They're 40 years old. They've been a carpenter since they're 20. They could come here and really help and build houses and do all this stuff. They will not come because they can't afford to live here on the wage they've been provided.
Yeah.
So say I was to rebuild my carpentry business and I need to hire some new carpenters. Like, okay, I can offer them, let's say I can offer them $35 an hour, which is not bad for a carpenter. I wish I could pay him more, but say I can only offer them 35 because of expenses and all that. But in order to live here, they need to make 45.
Yeah.
And I can't afford to pay them that because the market's not there. And they go, well, I'm going to go to Minnesota or I'm going to go to another, like any other country that's a better rate of living. And then we go, fuck, we can't even get them if we tried.
It's such an interesting.
It's weird. It's weird to see it happen because all the guys that taught me as a carpenter, they were like 55 when I started. They're 65 now. They're 70. They're done.
Yeah.
Some guys are still working. The earlier 70s are still carpenter.
Yeah.
Because their old employer says, man, I'll just keep giving you more money. I need you to work. Like, so I know this one old boy. His name's Richard. And I don't think you know him, but
no.
He works for a different company, Authentic Homes. And they're paying him like $50 an hour as an employee, as a carpenter, which is a lot.
That's a lot. Fuck yeah.
And usually, like as the
buddy, $50 an hour, I might throw the belt back on.
Well, that's what I mean. For a contractor, usually the contractor bills the employee out at 50.
Yeah, and
because they have to pay. They got to pay the benefits and all the stuff. So their payment, they're actually going net. They're going negative to hire this guy.
Net loss, yeah,
because they need him so bad. And he's like, I'm 72, but I guess I keep working because they want me so bad.
It's insane. We're just, dude, we're just, everything's propped up on fucking toothpicks right now.
Just keep it going, man. Keep it going.
It's like, don't look under the rug.
Dude, I have this little carpentry website that I had pre-Spotify, which I folded onto Spotify, brought back after because I need money.
Yeah.
So it's clonacarpentry.ca, which for some reason was not taken.
Yeah.
So I bought it, the website. No advertising, no nothing. I just have this little website. There's a couple projects I've done. Says call me if you need something. Very, very minimal. Like pretty much if I seen it, I go, I probably wouldn't call this guy because he doesn't look very professional because it's very basic.
Yeah.
Like I made this website on my own. I call every day. Can you quote me 75 townhomes? And I go, no, I'm one person. We need them done in 4 days. I'm one guy. Yeah. And they're like, well, about 5 days, we really need someone to do them. Like, no, I'm not doing them because I don't want to, number one.
Yeah.
And number two, I did do that. Then you're working 7 days a week just to try and do this job.
Get the jobs done. Yeah.
It's crazy. Zero advertising.
Fucking interesting.
Zero. Just a tiny little website. Just like if you search Kelowna Carpenter, you probably have to go down like.
Yeah. Go leave him a 5-star.
You'd have to scroll down pretty far in the Google search to find Kelowna Carpenter, which is me, which is nobody. Zero, like 7 reviews. That's fucking wild.
Shit, well, I gotta wrap this one up. That
was fun. That was the power, well over 2 hours, I think.
Yeah. Fucking, you got your money's worth. No after hours.
No after hours. Fuckers.
All right, no Patreon supporters, no nothing.
That's it. Power hour only.
Power hour only.
If you didn't like it, blame Dan.
Yeah, and as we always say at the end of these things, keep those eyes on the skies.
Peace.